Welcome to a little fireside chat. I got the torch. Let's fire up the pile. What's up, everybody? So, what's up, Rabbit? Yoda? I see it's Grumpy. Cha Cha, kiss off. I saw Teresa in here earlier. Can y'all hear me okay? All women making me drink, right? What's up, Carl? Cool, 5x5. Right on. Yeah, I just figured, I don't know, hop up, have a little fireside chat. I prefer to burn at night. That way I can keep track of everything I can visually see and makes me feel better. I hope it lasts. There's some good pieces, but I think it'll be dry enough to get going. I hope. If not, we might have to move in closer and get into fire building mode. Oh, Princess Buttercup. I'm seeing now. This is going to be weird because I miss people coming in. Oh no, I don't want to die down. Hey, Super Dave. No s'mores. Man, this shit's going to make me work for it, isn't it? Hey, I'm going to go light the other thing. See if I get it going. I know, right, Cha-Cha? Well, it's somewhat of a fire. Hey, it's the best laid plans, but I don't care. And the torch just don't want to stand up. There it goes. All right. So let's see what I missed. I'm sorry if I missed anything. Bam, bam, bam. Hey, cool. We might be cooking a little bit of gas now. Well, actually not, but what's up, actions, not distractions? I might have to relocate to the other side. We're going for a ride. There we go. Well, good gosh, it's almost like the fire is running away from me. I was sure hoping all that little twiggage was going to fire right up. I guess I could do the hutch thing and get me some diesel. Here we go. All right. What's up, Brian? G-Mall Merkel. Johnny Straight. What's up, Garrett? Sorry, I'm scrolling up. See if I catch up. Holy shit, dude. What's up, Best Life? Here, I'll post the link. Bam. Hey, Miss Tammy. All right. There we go. Okay. Okay, we're going to get right there. And here we go. Okay. Hey, Peppy Two Bears. That should catch here in a minute. I'm guessing you didn't pull a grumpy on that fire. I didn't do the gas. I was hoping it was the little twigs were dried out enough. It was. Come on, damn it. I just need the right little flicker of flame to hit. The right little flicker, and then it all work out. What happened lifting that? Oh, I'm getting there. It's all right. Kamala is not our president. Can't get much more blessed than that. Yeah. Hey, some of the anti-abortion people, protesters, the ones that showed up and were praying, that they threw in jail. I think it was like 35 of them got released. I think this is going to need a little bit of encouragement or something. Hey, there we go. Yeah. Oh, what did somebody say? Dusty? Hey, what's up, Rip Curl? No, that was just motivating it. I was just motivating. There we go. I guess I can. Let's see. Hold on. Here we go. That way y'all can get the, while it's up, get a little bit bigger view. Come on. Go up. Yeah. Okay, maybe I can go a little closer. My problem is, see, the grade goes down. There we go. Somebody let them cut loose, didn't they? Today was a good day. Yes, it was, Gmo Merkel. You know what? It was flipping awesome. So how's everybody doing? I think I put the link in. I mean, if somebody wanted to come up. Oh yeah, somebody lighting them up. Tammy, why'd you say darn me? Hey, Miss Sher. Miss Teresa. Oh, she might have been saying darn she missed it or something. President Trump went WWF on the WEF. I know, man. Wasn't that some cool? See, I like it because of, it's not just what he's saying, but it's when he's saying it, where he's saying it. It was kind of like the inauguration speech. I like that. Are you just getting that news across the pond? G and I are trying to figure out the delay in news. Hey, Miss Tammy says just waiting on the shoe to drop. See, now we got a fire. It just needed some encouragement. Hey, rescue 750 for turning in a clown to ice. Hey, man, they haven't been popping some of them. I laughed and told a buddy of mine he does deliveries to certain places. And I said, boy, wouldn't that be something? You go down and get you a couple little magnet signs made up and say, ice, call ice, and then put the number, and you just stick those on your truck as you go to do these deliveries, and watch all of a sudden everybody starts. It's like, oh shit. Dude, anybody that doesn't understand the concept behind that, it's because they don't have their own home or anything, their own place. They don't care, because it just makes sense. You got to know who's coming in your living room. What's up, Mitch? Oh, there. Is that better? Can y'all hear me better now? I just realized hell, I think it was turned down. Excuse me. Yeah, today was a good day. I've really had some positive help from God, my creator. That's just my faith. I ain't preaching to nobody. You do you, boo. But yeah, it's been, I don't know, feeling got energy. Just kind of, I feel like I'm being encouraged to walk a path, and I know it's hard to explain. Oh, happy early birthday, Miss Teresa. Thank you, Miss Teresa. I have a number for us. I thought it was 867. I thought it was 867-5309. Right? Amen. Teresa needs B-Day spankings. She might hand out some B-Day spankings, though. You got to be grateful about something every day. Hey, Miss Tina. Yes, ma'am. Pappy Two Bears certainly been a lot of meltdowns on the side of the left this week. Must be all the global warming they preached, right? Nope, there goes Miss Isla. Yeah, I've been taking it slow, but I'm getting some things done, and it's pretty cool. Kind of been having deeper conversations, and I just get uplifted. Maybe it inflated up to 9, or what inflated up to 9? Oh, I got you. Never mind. Hey, I had a brain skip, Super Dave. At my age, I guess I'm entitled to one every now and then. Hell, there's a lot younger than me there and skip way a lot more than me. It took me a second. Yeah, with inflation, it went up. Pretty far. I wish I could feel the heat. I know. I wish I could just share the heat. I'm a bit slow texting. Hello, y'all. Hello, darling. You can almost see the hand of God moving across the earth this week. His will being done on earth. I think we're all part of it too. Well, yeah, because you can just, I don't know. There's no book that kind of talks about some of that, and some of the other stuff that went down didn't see so smooth and peaceful. Uh-oh. The journey changes. We have to overcome and fight. I'm in constant skip. That's it. It's been a long time. Grumpy Weed doing real rapping. Just being a poet and didn't know it. Miss Tina says, yes, the hand of God is all over that man in this country. Pray for Trump every day. Right, Gmo? Conway. Man. See, that was the good music back in the day. Hey, thanks, Super Dave. Yeah, it's been it's a whole new thing. I think the missus is fixing to be going to bed. Where's Rudy at? Oh, she must have got him in. I might have to move in on the fire a little bit. Yeah, one thing I got to remind myself is just to be sure and I take it slow. Don't get overzealous. Grumpy needs a stuffed bunny. Works is open for business. Okay, Miss Teresa, I'll let her know. She shut the door. It was a little too nippy out here for her. I forgot what state you're in. Shoot, ma'am, I'm in Texas. I'm in the great nation republic state of Texas, the southeast part. I had to get a new MP3 and I'm loading it as we speak. I've been jonesing. You've been jonesing for some Jones or jonesing for some Conway? And I was working on the tactical bunny and then this happened. You see, this one time. Yes, ma'am, Miss Tina. Texas. Lord have mercy. We need to get our shit together down here, though. We've had a lot of exposed in our local stuff, in our state legislative that's been weeded out. We got our own little swamp actions. Misunderstood. Mr. Real Deal ain't no green screen. Evening, ma'am. Hey, what's up, Rudy? Mama was hollering for you, buddy. Look, Rudy says, "Oh, there's a fire. Can I sit by the fire?" Rudy's all about that heat, buddy. He's trying to figure out just how close he can get. There you go. Mama's on that ass. All right, buddy. Go in there with mama. Not night, buddy. Not night. Go in there with mama. Oh, she done ran in. Kiss off. Hell, that little one is so used to her little habit. Hell, she just tells you when she wants to go to bed. She just disappears and goes to bed. Guy Clark, Ray Willie Hubbard, Merle, Waylon, Hank, Kenny, right? Should have prepared better grumpy. Always keep a stuffed bunny nearby at all times. Hey, good night, Miss Tina. Get you some rest when you wake up tomorrow. Thank God for the wake up call and make it a good day. My dogs used to love laying by the fire inside my teepee in the winter. I miss it in them. Oh yeah, that's what actually Pappy Two Bears. We call Rudy. Rudy's a heater whore because like the heater in the house. That man, that dog will get right up on them flames. You can't even pet the front of him because your hand will get hot, and you're like, I just don't know how you do it, but he does it. He loves it. He just soaks that shit up. Now the little one that we've gotten now, she isn't. She's just whatever. I'd be lost without my pup. Oh yeah, I've been without for 3 days now. Wait a minute, you've been out without what, Gmo? Without tunes? How the hell can you be out of tunes for 3 days? If you're on, what the hell happened? I hate to say it, but we're repeating a cycle. I believe we have a cushion of maybe 2 years to really buckle down and prep like you've never done so before. I could be wrong, but no, I totally could get that, Rabbit. I mean, yeah, if everybody kind of is still complacent and just is like, no, I'm just going to focus on this, I'm not going to get involved. Yeah, it's definitely going to be getting a whole lot worse because this, it's like small number can only do so much, and if they're not getting support from every average everyday people, then it ain't going to last. And so then you just, it's the biggest, loudest dog is the one that comes over and takes over the yard. Your MP3 player died. Did your phone die? If your phone, you still had your phone, didn't you? Hell, all you got to do is either put the songs on the phone. G-Ball Merkel, you're the only DJ I know. We are heading into a Great Depression 2.0. Could be, could be. If we get it together, our grandkids might stand a chance. But if all we do is dig foxholes, then it's just a matter of time when our grandkids get ran over. If people don't carry through with the change, it will soon return to even worse than it was before. There is spiritual work to be done to make it through the rapids to come. There you go, Pappy. Oh, there's UPS. Lord have mercy. No, the phone lives. No tunes on the phone. I don't like it. What did you like doing without tunes? How you like that? Some's better than none. The only out I see for our monetary problem is default. Could be. I'm not a business dude. I know there's a bunch of business dudes that are fixing to be involved. We'll see, I guess, what comes of that. Stocks are up, so we're happy here. I ain't got no stocks. Hell, I ain't. I don't pay attention to them. None of that matters. To be quite honest, my little $1,000 a month, I pay my $77 of taxes, and then as long as I pay my electric bill, I'll figure out the rest. I think the Weef just ate a bowl of shit, and no, they did. We can beat default. You just have to want to. I gotta say, man, it's pretty impressive. I don't know if y'all have heard how he's got. So the Japan dude invests in, I think it's either 500 or 600 billion, and then now there's a Saudi Arabia, one of the princes over there. that was going to do like 600 billion, but he's going to get him to do a trillion, he thinks. So, planning on drilling, planning on getting that stuff out the ground. That's going to create some jobs. Hopefully, we have a good, oil field boom going. Brings energy down. We can start out sourcing our shit. Well, not outsourcing, but output our energy, making money. The tariffs are going to be a good thing. The only stocks I dabble in are soup stocks. My stocks didn't even leave when Biden was here. That's the big bidders, not Chuck and I. Yeah, a lot of that. I don't know why you want fellow Americans to lose all they've worked for. Why? Who wants them to lose it? Is what I'm saying everybody's going to lose it, or is what Rabbit? Who's saying somebody's going to lose everything? Talking about the Rabbit? It's Rabbit. The golden age is coming. Yes, but look into history, dude. History's written after the fact. I ain't looking in the rearview mirror. You can see what you went through. That helps motivate you to push forward. That's why the windshield's always bigger than the rearview mirror. Because if I even sogged mid a couple of signs from young lads in the crowd that was sogmed. What's a sogmed? Is that a way of saying you jacked some signs from the kids? I need to figure out what to do with my divorce settlement stock. Or what? When you got a divorce, you got stocks or something? I mean, you could cash them out, or you could just I guess you got to get some. You get somebody that knows that shit to manage it. Although that just, I'm not the best person with advice because to me that's just part of the system. So I mean, how do you get out of the system if you play in the system? Poor old oops, dude. He's out running them roads, buddy. I feel for them, especially this time of year because the deer will be out. And them trucks ain't got a whole lot of protection, just a box of sheet metal. Excuse me. Excuse moi. Well, sorry, Jim. I've already pulled the cards. I've seen the future we will face. Yeah, well, I think a bird shit on your magic ball. I think you're seeing a tainted picture. They've been saying that shit for 4 years. I've been saying it. Where would you be in the 30s, follow the 20s? Piece of land, Teresa. You better watch what you're reading me. Get it? I don't care. You do you. Not the boo. I typed it and I'll do it again. Be decisive. Oh, damn it, jump. What is it? Be decisive. Make a decision, right or wrong. The road is of life is full of flat squirrels that couldn't make a decision. Yep, I got part of his 401. Don't know if I should pull it and take the tax hit or reinvest it or do half and half. Well, ma'am, I wish I could offer some kind of rational advice on that, but mine would not sound rational. Uh, that's just me. And I'm not a monetary example. I can tell you that for sure. Rabbit says, pull it, Teresa. That is what I would do. You may have different financial advices, though. I'm not a financial advisor. But did you sleep at a Holiday Inn, Rabbit? Teresa says, grumpy, true. Teresa, is it settled yet? Do you live in a community property state? How do you? Hey, what's up, Paul? Cheaper energy is about to flow again, right? Reinvest and let it ride if you're still working a Roth IRA. Rabbit, that's what I'm seriously thinking of doing. Uh-oh, I'm fixing that to shovel coals. Guess if I ask them how long they've been going to dock shows, they said since they were 4. I said, wow. You said? I'd like to hear how you actually pronounce said. Has that got the southern drawl to it? Or has it kind of got that don't you know Minnesota kind of spin, like a said? I don't know. Super Dave, everything is already set. I just have to collect. The bee better have my money, right, Miss Teresa? The bee better have my money. I will just say gold and silver. Teresa, we left it in there when so many people said take it out. We have them send so much to us monthly to live comfortably while it still works for itself. Hey, there you go. Now, see, that's oh man, if I could rewind, that's one thing I'd like to do. I'd definitely like to have had some kind of nest egg or something. Because yeah, this shit sucks. One big wrong thing, and that can be it for half the year. I will tell you, Teresa. Now, just food for thought. If you go to asking around, I got to say, I would get into oil and gas. If you went to reinvest that in something, I would probably look into some oil and gas because I do believe we are fixing to have a boom. Hey, what's up, Stuart? Find maximum amount to withdraw and do that. Reinvest till next time. Oh, it scrolled out. Till next time to pull it out fast. Hey, yeah. Kiss off. I am asked who's the metalhead. They said, Mom. I said, good job, Mom. Market's overvalued by about 50% at least. You're gambling with the prospects of a loss of at least 30. Yeah, but see, oil, gas. I think the oil, gas, man. I want your drill, baby, drill. That's it. Brian says I'd blow the 401 on milk and Girl Scout cookies. What? No bunnies, Brian? Oh, I see where your real loyalty lies. Once you got a little money, you kick the bunnies to the curb. I see what's up now. Energy field. Hey, yo. Hey, what's up, Tiger? Oh, shit. Okay, I'm going to put this in there again. We'll see what anybody wants to come up. What is it? I have internal resources right now, waiting for that to start its upward trend. Spread it out and never put it all in one basket. Teresa, so we get my social trust and a bonus check from 401. Yeah, that's the investments. That's the shit I should have stuck with instead. I was kind of a dumb out. I've cashed out all 3. See, anybody want to come up? Nope, nobody wanted to come up. Let's see. What's up, KP? What's up, Oops? We're getting rid of all the Biden burdens. Let's see, scroll up just a tad. Miss anything? You pay tax on 3 at the end of the year, we file and get a reward. What are you done set fire to now? The limbs cleaning up. That widowmaker that fell, been cleaning it up. Yeah, I spent my 410 and just pulled out what I get from his. Oh, there you go. Yeah, my best recommendation would be not to don't. And man, I wish I hadn't had to touch mine, but that was the only way we survived after my back went out. So it sucks, but hey, we'll make through it. All right, nobody's up here. I'm fixing to go and rear end. All right. I come up in 10 minutes. Yeah, man. Cool deal. What's up, Dito? Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome, brother. Yeah. Get y'all a decent little shot of it anyway. Hoorah. Been a long day, or I would say hi to all you mother cluckers. Well, you did just say hi to all these mother cluckers. So there. Now let your savings get stolen in the next market crash. If you roll it over to a Roth, you pay smaller tax, and in a Roth, you pull out what you want tax free. Yeah. I gotta say, I wish I had just left mine in if I could have. But survival was the option. That's hell, we cashed that out. I had to sell what 2 trailers, motorcycle lift. Well, I sold the motorcycle lift after I sold my motorcycle. I went from an outside toy to my inside toy, the computer. I'll get this call done. I'll be up there with you. All right. I'm glad you're on. Really glad. I'm glad y'all are here. One proud mother clunker here. Has Grumpy already passed out, Yoda? Well, that heat feels good, I gotta say. Oh, nice fire. Fuck Texas board beer. My thoughts in one comment. There you go, Stuart. Hey, Echo. What's up? Thanks. Oh, and thanks, Stuart. Thanks, Kiss Off. Still, it's strange. By the way, is the picture look okay on YouTube? Because this thing supposedly is doing the stream at 1080p. Does it look like it's a good shot? I never even bothered to look at a YouTube stream. YouTube probably takes it down to like 720. Okay, cool. We might have to move in for a little closer action. I need to feel some of that heat myself. Very clear. Okay, cool. I'm a clunker. I'm broken, and my Marine has to help me. I think you help that Marine just as much as that Marine helps you. Thanks, Tiger. Cool. Link, please. Alrighty, try doing this again. Here, here, here. Oh, so good. I can feel the heat. Well, good then. Hell yeah. Man, you can just kind of, I like watching a fire and you watch the coals. You can just see the heat breathe. Hot sauce Merkel. Probably ought to oil that armrest. It wouldn't squeak so bad. Well, my whole chair squeaks nowadays. My shitternet can't do 1080p without buffering. It looks like okay, it's 720 though. Okay. It is cold and has been really cold here. Where you at, Paul? I forgot. I'm sure you've told me, sir, but flavor to taste. I like butter. Oh, there you go, Rabbit. Some French toast. Oh yeah. I got some roasting potatoes here. Ooh. We got some of that in the fridge, actually. We made a crock pot of that the other day. Well, actually, no, that was last week. What's in there now is, I guess some people call it hamburger soup, but it's hamburger meat browned up, and then it's got like got tomato paste, diced tomatoes, carrots, potatoes, and then you do all the little garlic, onion stuff, sweet pea. I mean, not peas, but peas. Uh, yeah, some people put corn. I just can't do corn no more. So Teresa says, "Damn, Tiger had to bring up roast. I've been wanting that for a while." That's what we did last week. Did some roast in the crock pot with some taters and carrots and chowed down. Sunny side of Louisville, Kentucky, Charlestown, Indiana. Ah, I made sure. Oh shit, sure. Charcuterie bread. Sent it to work with Guaranteed. Oh, cool. Ah, look at here. We got D Dog. Okay, well, we can't do that. Gotta have some flag border. What's up, sir? Can you hear
What's
me okay?
happening? Yeah.
Okay, cool. Teresa, it's your fault. You mentioned it the other day, and I had to bake it. Tomorrow is beef stew with the other half of the roast. There you go. Where I was like, well, hell, I need to run up to Saint Screwy, I guess. Where the hell is Saint Screwy? Oh, D Dog froze.
Uh-oh. Frozen
Yeah,
D-Dog.
yeah. You look like you're like looking deep in thought too.
No, it's constipation.
Hopefully, it
Well,
won't
still
be
stuck.
that. Yeah, it still froze.
Okay. Looks perfect.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I can just go to eating crayons. I'm good.
Well, hell, I can even just put the fire full screen,
That's cool too.
and then they see the fire.
Or just a green screen.
Yeah, yeah. It's taking all this time to finally get it built right. Well, actually, no, you haven't heard the latest. See, I have one of those Hollywood LED circle domes, so I can film reality. This is all fake.
Yeah.
Now let's see what rabbits say. Geez, can't find anyone purifier than that. Are you looking for purified people? Because you ain't. I don't think you ain't gonna find one on this ball of dirt. So because a bunch of people on the live stream are talking about roast, I'm gonna have to go buy one. It'll be my birthday meal. There you go. Hey, you can just roast yourself for birthday.
Yep. And Grumpy, that would be purple crayons. That's my favorite flavor.
That's it. Oh, Paul just lost my drink of coffee. Well, that sucks. Don't waste the coffee. Oh, prettier. Damn auto crack. Don't know hillbilly. It don't know that Missouri language. That's what it is. No kosher here. That's what I made myself for my birthday on Monday. Oh well, happy birthday, Echo.
Yeah,
No,
Echo, happy 29th birthday again.
right. Rabbit, have you always been an ass, or is this your first time? Oh no, it's in the
No,
DNA.
yeah, he's professional kiss off.
Yeah,
And that's pretty nice for you. So your meds are in.
that's a badge of honor. He's Chief Grandmaster asshole. And somebody's dog does not want to be outside. Or else something got a hold of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think something might have got a hold of it.
Row.
Yeah, because that's one hell of an erratic ass yapping. And it almost sounds like a painful yapping. Oh, let's see. Move your head around.
Nope.
It looked like,
I
nope.
changed the setting to the lowest setting, and it reset the picture, and it froze again.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought I saw your head move in the little window on the left, but you thought so. Damn. Thank you. We are also noticing a lot of the people having trouble with autocorrect on my channels. It seems to be on loves. So the autocorrect it's on the loves. Think I'm disappointed in kids off now. What? Think I'm disappointed in kids off now? Damn. What do kids have to do with it? Man, that tequila and rum, that shit even made it through the digital lines. It's got everybody mistyping.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when Rabbit does kids instead of kiss off.
Yeah, because you can always get an S and a D mixed up for sure. They look so much alike.
Well, don't expect too much from Rabbit.
Hey man, if you're a grandmaster asshole, you ought to at least be able to say things appropriately.
Yeah.
Be careful, AI is coming in. This reads like a bunch of us are riding the shore bus. Wait a minute, oops, you mean somebody's supposed to be driving?
Well, if Tiger does a little bit more of this chemo thing, she'll be able to be the nightlight in there.
Hey, we can get her to stand up and down in the back window. She'll be like hazard flashers.
Right.
I'm trying to make French toast, damn it. He puts the egg on the bread.
Oh, that's how you do it? I thought you were doing regular toast and you're just swearing to it in French.
Toasting the French.
Yeah.
The best short bus ever. I'm about to have to go poke my fire up some.
Yeah. Rescue. My buddy Joey says, yeah, he really likes getting on them rants, doesn't he?
Yep. But see, only on a smaller scale. Man, I did that a little bit on the internet. It doesn't go over very well, as you've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck the internet.
Where he gets the spatula again, right, Stuart? Puts the egg on the bread, or he gets the spatula again. Man, oh man, yeah, I gotta stir them coals.
Yeah. Well, Joey is my neighbor. He's about a mile away.
Oh, okay.
And he ended up going back to work at a place I used to do gates for, and he used to be a fence guy. So he went back and stuff, and he's a crew leader now. And
Oh,
Chloe was looking for a job because she was doing tent setup for events, and there isn't very many in the winter.
oh, yeah.
So I got Chloe over at that fence place doing fence, and she's loving it.
Well, hell yeah.
And both of them, Joey and Chloe, both told me that they're not making enough. They need to make more money. Blah 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 blah. So I said, here, come over to the house on the weekend, and we'll just blast some shit out in the wood shop. And Joey has a good established Facebook thing, and just for local deliveries or pickups, just sell it for whatever people will give you. So they're doing this home decor crap out of pallet wood and reclaimed fence pickets and stuff like that. And it's been almost 2 months, and they're almost making the same a week that they make at their job.
Damn. They're doing good.
Yup, and they're talking
Hell
about
yeah.
making flower boxes and planters and shit like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So I've been sitting at the CAD program, and I got about 40 different designs for different planters, and all they have to do is change one dimension. It'll change the whole planter, layout. And I talked to the lady who runs one of the local events. She does 3 of them a year, and they're getting in there for free. They just don't know that I paid their booth fee.
They don't know that part, huh?
It's none of their business.
There you go.
And then September, I'll just totally wash my hands with them, and they can go on their merry way and make money or break it.
There you go. A little stirring of the coals.
Yeah, they're surprised. You take a old piece of fence picket that's 5.5 inches wide, cut it to 4 feet tall, and put great big welcome on it, and some stupid motherfucker will pay you $85 for something that took you half hour to do.
Damn. And how much?
$85 for something that takes a half hour to do, and it's out of
Hell
scrap
yeah.
paint and a picket, a fence picket that nobody has a use for because it's all weathered.
repurpose, and make money.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Well, I was kind of in the process of trying to get lined out, and I'm still going to get there. It's just with the weather, it screwed things up with the rain before the cold. But I'm going to try to take some pallet wood, and I want to make me like just some little Cluckin Alamo kind of little plaque signs,
Mhm.
run them through like a little planer, and then either mess around with this little CNC thing, see if I can get it carved in, or try to just hand carve them in.
Well,
But
you
then,
can, if you have a cabinet shop and some printers, they do have CNC machines, and it costs between $20 and $40 an hour. And if you're doing plaques that are, let's say, 8 inch by 8 inch, they can usually punch out 15, 20, maybe 30 of them an hour.
yeah, oh yeah. No, I was talking about doing it myself. I've got a little desktop. I mean, if I were to start getting heavy on cranking on it, it probably would only last a year, maybe two. But because it's not it's no it's not commercial. It was just a little hobby thing. Yeah, I've never even ran it. It just been sitting over there for years.
What it
There was a time.
it handles something about 7 inches by 11. It's what the hell, a
I forgot the.
3018 Pro.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's a good little machine. That's what uh I got set up in the wood shop. If you just want to make like a name tag or something to throw on.
I've got that one, and I've also got the laser attachment for it.
Yeah,
I did some. I did some
I got a,
upgrades. I did the little demo little things,
yeah,
but then it was just I was still working when I got it, so I really didn't get into it. I was just kind of like, oh, that could cool. I'll get back to this on a weekend, and that weekend just never happened.
right, right.
And now things are just so scattered; it's hard to kind of get things. That's why I'm working. It's like, okay, no, I'm going to focus right here, and I want to get me a little spot, and I'm going to start just growing out from that spot. I just got to get things in order.
Yeah, I sat down, and it's about every 5, 8 minutes I was changing out little blanks I made. They were eighth of an inch thick and 2 inches by 3 inches, so about the size of a business card. And, putting the company logo and then Joey and his phone number and Chloe and her phone number on them. And
Oh, there you go.
I gave them each 100 of them. It took me, I don't know, 6, 7 hours to do it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep. And they're all out of cedar.
Ooh,
And
nice.
that's what they're going for, outdoor decor. So I figured make them out of cedar.
Have to stir it from the backside.
Yeah, but it'll be nice whenever I can walk away from it, let them just run with it.
There you go.
Yep, either they'll learn from me and they'll run and make it successful, or they'll just piss it away by not having the motivation to do anything with it.
Hold on, Dito.
It's okay. I see you over there playing Firebug. No, Echo. I don't read much unless it's a document having to do with the founding of our nation. And the only reason I read those is all because of Volume 16, American Jurisprudence, Subsection 1. The U.S. Constitution is to be read like written, So all our founding documents, like the Mayflower Compact and the first um, Constitution in America, which I believe was Connecticut, 1100 Charter of Liberties, anything from the Anglo-Saxon Chronicles from 500 AD to I think 1100 AD, the Geneva Bible, all that stuff. And then Volume 16, American Jurisprudence, subsection 2. When interpreting the Constitution, you always find in favor of the citizen.
Sorry, I missed most of what you said.
That's okay. I was talking to Echo.
Uh huh.
Yeah, last weekend I taught Joey and Chloe how to weave wood, and it just totally blew their mind because I got the steamer and everything for doing that.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So it's all wood, but it looks like a basket.
Yeah. Oh, those are nice.
Yep.
And those can be costly.
That's why I was teaching them how to do it.
That's it.
What you do is you take the idea of concept or whatever that someone else is doing that's punching them out on a mass production and just selling them, but it's actually garbage. And you just throw your own spin on it and make it something totally unique.
Yeah.
Yep, and I got another 100 and some stencils showing up for those, so they can do some more of that house decor stuff because that's all that's selling over the winter. Flower boxes, not so much. And I'm
Not
excited
yet.
about a 9-pack of stencils. It's toilet humor. So I'm excited about that.
I got yelled at. I didn't get yelled at.
You got yelled at?
That's what Kissoff says. Risky got yelled at. LOL. I'm like, well, that's. I guess it wasn't too loud because I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
So when did I get yelled at? By who? Who yelled at me?
Well, I don't even know why you care. Oh, did I say that out loud?
I tell you what, this is mighty tasty French toast. Just saying. It's about time you finished it. Good gosh, it's just a piece of bread bathed in some egg. How hard could it have been?
I did not yell at you for not paying attention. You said, "Hey, I'll be back." I said, "It's okay. I see you're playing with fire."
I know, right? And then I came back and I go, by the way, I missed everything. You're like, okay, I was answering Echo, so I don't even.
Yeah.
Oh, we discussed this, I think, this morning. This is what happens when she doesn't sit on her booster seat.
Also, she can't see the whole screen.
That's it, and it totally screws her up. Hey, what's
Yeah.
up, Virginia Roots? Good to see you, man.
Root.
Root, root, root. Back in the day, you'd have been called a rootin' tooter or a rootin' scooter.
Something.
And that was the old Halliburton days. But you can't really say that name no more because you do, and it takes a life of its own.
Yeah, but it's fun to watch people melt down.
I mean, I grew up in my family. That's my uncle. He was a rootin' scooter, buddy. Brown and Root for I don't know. Good God, 27 years or some shit. Long time.
Yeah. Well, I know this one guy. Well, I'm changing the subject a little bit. It just when you did the Rooter Tooter thing, I started thinking about the Hoosiers, in Indiana.
Ah,
And this one guy I know, he's a buddy of a friend of mine, and he's like has to be one of the most racist people in the whole world. And he always wears something with Hoosiers on it. So I gave him a book about a gentleman named Hoosier who was a black man, and that's what the Hoosiers are actually named after. And you know what he did?
what?
He moved.
Get out of town.
Serious. He moved just because he didn't want to be associated, rooting for, a black man.
Lord have mercy.
I thought it was funny as hell. I laughed so hard when I heard about that.
Let's see. That's the people and their stupidity. Hey, Roots, there's the link if you want to, if you dare. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm an asshole. There's anything possible that I could say. Yeah, see me do that. Mhm. Kind of like what I told Rescue, my buddy told me earlier, on our phone call about America's going to run out of something.
yeah,
Yeah,
running out of tampons.
yeah. America's going to have a shortage of tampons because there's too many pussies here.
I sure do hope things, man. I don't know. That's why I don't. I was kind of. It was a nice surprise to see all the people that turned out. So for the election side. So it's like, hey, man, maybe there's people that just you don't really know they're there, but they are paying attention and they are being active. And so, no, not TP. Holy crap! It's 10:16 and drinking mud on the floor to clean up. You're drinking mud on the floor to clean up. Why don't you just? I mean, I don't know. Mopping it up would probably be better, but I mean, you will get at least minerals out the deal. So
Well,
you'll be high on iron afterwards.
I'm just happy that Grumpy found someone to bless his turd because it's
Oh,
holy
that's
crap.
Yoda.
Oh, that's Yoda?
Yeah.
Well, it's good that Yoda found someone to bless a turd.
Fecal mud.
Hmm.
Is that as bad as fecal mud?
Yeah, just fecal mud. Isn't that just like a bunch of shit?
Well, that's what I thought.
Well, if it's fecal mud, it's probably, like the diarrhea thing, where you can shoot it right through a screen.
Stupid spell check. I think no, I don't know though, Yoda, because I don't think the check part ever really happened.
Hmm.
Hey, looky there. All right, let's see. I'll put the fire back full screen. There we go.
Hey,
What's up, Roots?
hey, I'm trying to figure out this format. So if I hit on chat, then I can see. Oh, there's chat. Okay, how are y'all doing?
Shit, pretty solid.
Yep, I haven't thought that far yet.
Right.
I'm doing good.
Well, Devil Dog, if I'm not mistaken, did I see a memo about your mom in the chat the other day?
Yep.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
I'm not. She's not suffering.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
rest of the family has to go and waste $10,000 on a stupid fucking funeral when we can just plan her because it's just a shell.
right. And that's a racket for sure. They get you. I mean,
Yeah.
what were her wishes? Did she want? Would she have wanted something like that? Or?
Believe it or not, 10 grand is as cheap as you can go.
Whoa.
That's the cheapest, uh, what do you call it? The cheapest service, the cheapest box, and um, all we have to do is have the the day she died added to the tombstone because she's right next to dad and they're sharing the same stone.
Mm-hmm.
Kiss off, don't be sorry. She's in a good place. She's dancing with dad.
Right.
Yeah, she
It,
lost her husband on May 13th of 1985, and she's been single, a widow since then.
wow.
Never went out dating or
That.
nothing.
Hmm. Pretty wild though that 10,000 is. And I hear you. An expensive box and minimum engraving to be done and whatever. It is such a damn shame that it's so much money.
Uh,
Um,
Do you want to know the biggest fucked up thing about it?
of course.
Brian, the the owner, the owner's son is named Brian, and him and I went to school together, and we've known each other for our whole lives. And if I need a hand with something, he'll come over. If he needs a hand, I'll go over there. His dad loves me to death, and I'm even getting a family discount on it.
Right. Oh,
And he got offended where I asked him if I get a reach around with it.
yeah. A nice steak dinner and a reach around. Nothing.
Yeah,
Rum and coke. No, no, no lube. I mean, yeah, that's wild, man. And I hear you though. If she's out of pain and um, dancing with her husband, that's the way to look at it. But still, I'm sorry for your loss.
it's not a loss; it's a win. The dancing with her husband is very symbolic because my mom came here in the 1950s from Switzerland under voluntary servitude. She had to work for the um, Ames family for 5 years, and then she could extend the time she worked for them, or she could go get another
Hmm.
job. And you may have heard of the family if you know any of the history of Winchester, because the two families were pretty much together all the time.
Like from Winchester,
The
the
firearms.
rifle.
Yeah.
I went to the Sarah Winchester house in California. It
Okay.
was awesome. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm talking going back to the Georgia plantation and stuff that they'd summer at every year.
Right. Huh.
But my dad, after he got out of the Marine Corps and, after World War II and Korea was done, he gets a job at a dance studio, teaching ballroom and stuff like that. And my mom went and she signed up for lessons there. And everyone said that there's this crazy foreign lady that no one can deal with. And my dad ended up teaching her how to dance. And then they ended up getting married in 1962.
Wow.
So that's why the family thing is that she's dancing with dad.
Oh,
Pretty
bless
cool.
him. Yeah, it is really cool. I hope you have some journals or pictures or something like when I think about my parents, grandparents, and before that, I don't care about any kind of material things, but if I ever can get hold of love letters or pictures they had together, or even little stuff like receipts or titles for things, or you know evidence of their lives and what they were doing when, I hope maybe you have a little keepsakes like that.
Yeah, we got a bunch of that stuff. Um, Behind the house, we have a linden tree. And that linden tree, the first generation was a wedding present from my grandma and grandpa
Hmm.
for mom and dad when they got married. And that they lived just outside of St. Louis when dad worked for Ford. And then they moved to Sparta, Illinois, and he couldn't move the trees, so he took a clipping and they propagated it, and they grew, the second generation of that tree.
Oh, wow.
And he ended up working at a different Ford plant, just outside of Sparta. And then he transferred up to Michigan truck plant, so they had to move up, near the Wayne area. And the tree was too big for them to move it all the way to Michigan from southern Illinois. So they took another clipping, propagated it, and then they grew another tree. And they lived in that house for about 10 years. And then dad was thinking about retirement and stuff, and he was tired of, city life, even though it was Livonia, it wasn't Detroit. And we moved out to the country. We got 10 acres. And the tree was too big to move, so he propagated it again.
Wow.
So the tree behind my house is fourth generation,
Hell yeah.
That is too cool.
and the tree is 50 years old this year. Okay, now the story of the property even gets better. In 1972, mom and dad came out and they fell in love with the property, but they didn't have the finances together to get it. And then in 74, 75, they came out and looked at it again, and it was still available, so they bought it. And then they built a house out here. And I was 9, 10 when we moved out here.
Huh.
And I'm 57 now, so I've been out here for a minute.
Right.
And I had a farm behind me, and I took care of all the melons and stuff. And I'd go up to the farmhouse and get paid every week, because I called them when I left my house to go to the field, because it was 450, 500 feet away from my back door. Instead of going all the way to the barn and then back to the field, which would have been, like a mile and a half round trip. That would be stupid. And then when I got back home, I was done doing that. I'd call them and tell them, yeah, I'm back home. I'm done for the day. But I met uh, Harry Danker's, one of his brothers, and he was commissioned by Department of National Resources for Michigan to plant pine trees in the fall of 1929. And it's like, wow. And I go, my dad was born September 18th of 1929.
Whoa.
Oh wow.
So it's like, I think my parents are supposed to move out here.
That was where they were supposed to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just as far as the things I've seen over my, my little bit of life at 57 years. Um, Everything just intertwines with itself.
Hmm. Does that make you feel more connected to your grandparents, great grandparents? Because I think it's kind of sad we forget our forebears really easily. You know, there are some people who didn't know their parents or grandparents or great grandparents or whatever and have any understanding of the journey that they took.
True.
Yeah, well, in 1972, I got to go to the house in Switzerland where my mom grew up, and we were there for Christmas. And a gentleman dressed pretty nice walked into the house and was handing out um, gifts to everybody in the house. Okay, and that's their version of Santa.
Hmm.
And Ukla Otto, he went to that gentleman's house and did the same thing for their family. So anyone ask me if Santa's real? Fuck yeah, he is. I met him.
That's pretty freaking cool. You could go back to that house your mom was raised in, though.
Yeah, in fact, on my mom's cell phone, that is her screensaver. Her background wallpaper is the house she grew up in.
Oh, yeah.
Kiss off, you ain't right. Well, what do you guys think about our first week with Daddy's home? What do you think?
Um,
Awesome.
it, it, Let me guess, that's something to do with DC, right?
Well, yeah, like with Trump in, it's been like 3 days,
Yeah.
and quite a bit has gone down. What's your gut feeling? Do you like the moves? Do you like the people moving up and down? What do you think?
I think I'm not going to give a crap about anything happening until mid March.
Hmm.
Give time for the dust to settle. I will say I'm not sure about this. I get that. So part of what I've heard with the AI, I understand. I can get the. I get the approach. Now this latest thing that I heard this morning, and I forgot who was saying it to me in the chat, but apparently there's something with the AI and the mRNA, and so then it was like, oh, well, I'll look into that. So I'm not sure where that goes, but
Yeah.
Well, they were talking about the mRNA and the graphene and everything in the tests, and it's like, oh, that's so 2020 rescue.
well, because I will say, I mean, see the AI. I know the AI scares everybody and makes them nervous, and I understand it. It is what it is, but from what I understood of the AI was just, which I only caught a blip of his executive order signing, and basically I take it as in my redneck version. It's like, okay, here's how this goes. There's a new tool in the toolbox. It's called AI. I think maybe we ought to know how to use that tool better than anybody else before they figure it out too well. And that's kind of the approach I take it. It's like, it's a game. It's in the game. So it is what it is, whether you like it or not like it. There's other superpowers that know all about it too.
Hmm.
So if this is what's on the field, you might as well try to be the baddest mofo with it. Otherwise, it can kick your ass.
Hmm.
So I see that approach kind of going at, okay, we need to, get some AI, figure this out, try to get the leading ground on it. It's kind of like the Space Force thing. See, I get that. It's like that's an existing field up there. It's just an untapped battlefield, but whoever arrives on that battlefield first is going to run it. So we don't need to sit and ignore it.
Yeah.
So that's it. But now this whole mRNA, I'm not sure how that's going to work though, man. You just start looking at the players involved. It's like, well, how are you going to sell that over to RFK? How are you going to pitch that? You're fixing to do some mRNA AI vaccine shit? I mean, so I don't think that's going to, so I don't know where that came from. Somebody in chat had just told me that was something.
Well, I agree regarding AI. There is no stopping that, and if he said no, we're just never going to touch it, not going to look into it, not interested, that would be really naive because, like you said, know what tools are in the toolbox. The mRNA is similar, and for entertainment purposes, I'm not a doctor. No one here is. That is a little concerning. Some of that rewriting of our codes of our bodies,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, especially attached to that 6-letter word when you think about it, because it's like, I'm sorry, RFK's even come up with so much shit that's been shown to produce that very thing.
mhm.
And so it's like, wait a minute. So wait, we're just going to ignore the fact that we know all this poisoned ass food and all this shit causes that. We're just going to go ahead and jump into figuring out some kind of shot to give somebody to fix it. How about we clean our food up? Hey, Ladysmith. I decided to do a little campfire thing, and then I would rather burn at night so I can make sure where all the embers go. It's a visual thing for me. So plus I like to look at night. And I don't know. I was in a good mood, felt good today, had a good day. I feel really good about life in general. So I just thought, hey, so I told the missus, I'm gonna go live and burn. And she's like, okay, night.
Fired up.
That's it.
Yeah, Gmail Merkel, I agree. Let's celebrate the steps forward. And, I think a lot of us we're so used to being let down and fucked in the ass that it's almost like weird to go back into a sense of normalcy. It's almost like a dreamland as opposed to the fact that it's just been a few years of a step, just this huge hop over of total insanity. And I agree, we should celebrate. I still have, I will never trust fully certain technologies, and that's one of them. In fact, I don't even know if we can get mRNA, like where I think all the vaccines are that at this point. They're, kind of already introducing it, whether we like it or not. It comes down to a choice of whether to take it. But as far as the small victories, I almost feel numb. Maybe I'm the only one. Maybe in the chat, the same way. It's like you're kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop and not wanting to celebrate too quick.
Well, I think we were bombarded for so hard for so long with just the whole upside down world. I mean, it just kind of came on. You had this whole COVID shit. Then you got riots, you got COVID, you got stealing an election, and it's just all this media crap. And so there was no sunny day.
Right.
It's almost like every day was a dreary day, and it was just like, oh shit. Well, now the sun's starting to come out between the clouds, and you just can't get nobody that hardly wants to look up to kind of go, oh wow, it is, isn't it? It's just kind of like, nope, it's dreary.
Right.
It's kind of like, what was that cartoon? Oh damn! Well, it's Eeyore. Eeyore. Oh,
Right. Oh yeah, that was the bear. Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh, the donkey Eeyore.
Well,
Oh, well.
Doc was saying it would be maybe till March. Like a lot of the stuff getting signed right now and whatever, there's still a process where it'll be 30, 45, 90 days to see it come to fruition. We still have a lot of confirmations to go down. So it's kind of like hanging in the balance a little bit, weightlessness
Oh, yeah.
along.
Well, it's kind of like that old saying, it's like how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. And so you just kind of got to go, yeah, the whole world was upside down, but you know what? We can only fix it one day at a time, one thing at a time. And so then you just kind of, you got to look at, okay, the few J6ers that got out, instead of going how many didn't, just let's be happy with the ones that did. The abortion prayer people that got arrested and locked up, they got released. I think that was 35
Hmm.
that they got pardoned. And so, then you start looking at, I don't know, it's just good stuff. The responses from other countries, that's pretty damn cool when you got other countries that are like, okay, hey, you're back in the game. We're here to play. You know, it's kind of a shift. You can kind of, it just gives me a refresh that the tide's changing. Now, where it goes, that's still be determined. It's none of this shit set in stone. So a good day tomorrow don't mean tomorrow's awesome. It's going to be what we make it day by day. I think it's going to take people just stay on top, but I wouldn't dwell on the negative. I would just focus on the half full concept. I guess there you go. I'm a half full instead of half empty.
Perspective. Yeah.
Because man, it's like all the whining and screaming and the crazy shit that they're coming out with. It just the hypocrisy just it's almost refreshing because it's like, wow, it is just eating your ass up, isn't it?
I mean, the meltdowns are pretty delicious.
Yeah, yes.
They're tasty.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Expectations.
That's odd. You know, I don't know, man. It's like doing time in prison. You know that you're there. I'm sorry, you're thinking to spend the next 4 years there. So guess what? You can focus on that, and we used to call them day counters. You can be a day counter. Your life is just miserable, dude, because every day you just got to go, okay, I've got, you know, 1,262 to go type shit. And it's like, that's just crazy, dude. Fuck that shit.
Yep.
Find
How many
what's
more
the
days than
game.
a wake up?
That's it. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I was bad once I got close. Once I knew that I was within range, all I did was make my to-go box. And then I went back to day-to-day life. And I'm still here, man. This life can change at any given moment. So, well, that's now sitting out here, dude. This life, people think this is so bad. And it's bad, don't get me wrong, but it's so easy to make a change. Because there's so many life scenarios where you don't get no options, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is the hand you're dealt. You're either fixing to learn how to play this hand, or you're fixing to not be alive no more. There's just different worlds, and this right now, this everyday, it can be fixed, dude. That's why I just hold people accountable. Integrity. Matter of fact, that's my little. Here he comes the soapbox. God dang it! I'm gonna tell you right now. I even think I remote control drove this one in here. I was really wanting it to drive up, and it didn't show up fast enough. I'm like, let me pull out my Android. I'm remote driving this thing up in here. But okay, all the adults involved in all this. Well, first step back and realize that okay, regardless of how you're feeling about shit, whatever outcome you're wanting, you're painting a picture by every little person that watches you and hears you. So you can tell a child, oh yeah, no, this is fine, baby. And then they hear you respond to stuff. So that's our leaders. We can all whine about right here, right now, but to me, the big picture is my grandkids, dude. I look at like little man. I look at my granddaughters and I go, yeah, if I just sit here and all I do is gripe about what shit is right now, boy, I'm sure going to be leaving you a shithole. So it's like that's why it's somehow figure out where you fit into this. You ain't got to jump into all this political bullshit. I mean, pull up a fucking website, senate.gov, house.gov. Hey, what are you voting on? Oh, that's some bullshit. What's that, Rep? Yo, Representative Bob, that bill 111 is bullshit. Okay, it goes through. You go back, hey, Bob, you voted on that. So then just tell your neighbor, hey, Bob's a piece of shit. Bob voted on that bill that we didn't like. Oh, next thing you know, Bob don't get reelected. And you can listen to the interviews of some of the staff of some of these representative and senators. Oh yeah, your emails and phone calls to those offices, it helps. It really does get attention. Matter of fact, the more you do to the office, the better, because they're the ones, the staff is the ones that are bringing it to the senator or the rep's attention. So you just, you call them, speak your point, and you give them good stuff that they can say to him or her or whatever. But and if we don't act that way, then what are we going to teach our kids or grandkids to act that way? Or are we just really going to hand this shit over to a socialist, communist pieces of shits that are just going to come here and take our shit? Sorry. Okay.
No, I agree with you. We should not hand it over to anyone, any spot. This is an indivisible republic, right? That's the whole point. I agree with that.
Because, man, it's just like that. Sometimes the little man sitting there taking a nap, and I just sit there and look at him, and I think, going, wow, dude, what is this going to be like in 20 years? I mean, I look at this country and I rewind 20 years and go, yeah, trans shit. These kids being poisoned like they are, that shit didn't happen 20 years ago. Now it's common. Okay, so, well, if this is where we're at, then I look at him and I go, so where's it going to be at for you if nobody puts the brakes on this shit? And I don't know, maybe that's why God put a little fire in my ass and has motivated me and has kind of uplifted me a lot. And I'm in a good mood today. Managed to accomplish shit, feel good about tomorrow. But you got to set the example. You can't just talk about shit. They got to see it. That's how they're learning the bad shit, because they're seeing that. So you got to represent the good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they're not going to know it, because the societal crowd out there is against your ass. So, the general pop out there is against you, in all honesty. Like, they'll counter things you teach your kids. So they've got to see action in you too, so that they can actually then translate, and they know how to translate that. You tell a kid to, look, you can suck that up and handle it. Really, what's been the visual representation he has to kind of put that in reference for? Well, you need to kind of stand up and stand firm for what you believe. Well, what does that really mean to that kid?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I believe in. I want to be fucking Superman. That's what I believe in. Okay, so see, you've got to be more of an example of what that means.
It's okay to want to be Superman when you're like 6. There's age appropriate mindsets, and I think we are maximizing the thoughts of a tiny portion of society with the trans stuff. And I mean, a true transgender person is less than 1% of the population, and homosexuality is, I think it's less than 10%.
Well, you say that, Roots, but what about like the books in the schools that then expose that to kids, that if this wasn't a thing, they weren't exposed to that 20 years ago? It's like we had the transvestites.
That's exactly why they just lost, is that we are putting a spotlight on the very, very few in society. I've been really proud to see some young folks that they really do get it. They know what's being pushed in their face. They understand, it's not going to change them fundamentally, even though it's right there. And I put some of the blame in the education system and the curriculums put out and stuff like that. It's not necessarily fooling the students, though.
Yeah, By the way, what's up, Navy vet Anthony?
Yoda, I
Anybody
was
else?
hoping you could come up. When you say less than 2%, do you mean the homosexual population? Okay, so about 2%. I just know that the transgender is less than 1%. The homosexual population, I'm sure we could get a range in there. I would say between 2 and 10. I mean, me know math, we can average that to like 5 or 6%, maybe 1 out of 20 people. But it has been indoctrinated in, but it's also been more accepted in the last few decades. For a while, just being a regular gay person, you know what I mean? Just like a gay male or a gay female, lesbian, that was kind of not, it was considered a mental thing. And I don't think that a lot of people came out of the closet. So just as far as gayness in general, not an extreme form of it, but gayness in general, I don't know, could we say maybe 1 out of 20? That'd be 5%.
Yeah, but see, just think at one point though, it used to be a 0%.
No, it's always been something.
It's always been something, yeah.
Well, okay, it was a 0.1%. At one point, this was not, because it's even like I can remember growing up, there were gay people, yeah, but you didn't. It's like there was a moral ground at
Yeah.
an age level. And it's like, okay, this was off limits. It's like, okay, hey, there's a school this far. No, you can't put the titty bar right there. Hey, wow, it's pretty bad morals for you to take your kid into the titty bar. But then somewhere along the way, these past couple of decades, that line's just been totally. It's like you still can't take your kid in the titty bar. That's there. That's still. Ooh, that's bad. Instead, we're going to take Fiesta Taco and we're going to make that into a transgender titty bar. And now it's okay. Bring your kids.
As long
And
as
it's
they
like,
don't serve alcohol, you can take a kid just about anywhere. You can't take a kid into a 21 and above space, but I bet you it doesn't even matter if it's a titty bar. If it's a dry titty bar, I bet you could. Hey, Bonnie.
well, see, back in the day, you couldn't. That was the bad thing. It's like you couldn't even. They couldn't put a bar or a topless bar within so far of a range down here in Texas of a church
Right.
Yeah,
and
a
stuff like
church
that.
or a school that had to be a certain amount of distance. That was pretty well nationally.
But it's just you just kind of wonder, and so that's. And then you look at the TikToks and the Instagrams and all the social media platforms, and you look. So what's the main like stuff on there? Oh well, it's batshit crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you go, oof. So what are you combating? This is what you're up against, and that's why I just and I just I really think there just needs to be some serious visual representation of the change we're going to want to hand over to these grandkids. For me, it's grandkids. For some of y'all, it's kids. But because man, it's just they're going to need some serious good tools to face the world to come. It ain't the world as we knew it.
Well, like Bonnie's saying, I don't flaunt my sexual preferences or whatever. There's a certain amount of public decorum and, decency, just sort of a middle ground of public decency and how you present yourself. And I don't recall back in the day, for me, having any teachers who were flaunting or preaching gayness. Now, Gaydar will tell you there were a few who were gay, but it wasn't part of the curriculum or the agenda that they made it a thing. Hey, Anthony, Tuck.
Well, it seemed like
By the way,
you're a bit younger than me, Root, but everything was basically don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and you know what? There used to be that was behind the bedroom doors. That was
Right.
that you did. That was behind bedroom doors.
I don't even
That's
care
my
if it's
best
behind
friend
bedroom
growing up.
doors. If it's in your house, it's no one's fucking business.
Mm-hmm.
My best friend growing up, she was a lesbian. that I went to high school with,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody knew it, but it was not. It just wasn't because it wasn't the one. You didn't have all these figures pick up the banners to shove shit in your face.
Right.
So it was just like, you know, nobody made it a big issue to stand out,
Mm-hmm.
and so dress certain ways. It just everybody just kind of. It was weird how that worked. Everybody just did themselves. And then somebody says, "Well, no, I want to get this all in your face." And boy, don't you dare look at me funny. Ah, look at you. You're bad. And it's like, what just happened?
You had a
You had a
safe
safe
place.
place.
It was the closet. That's funny, Merkel. Sorry, rescue. That's funny.
Right. No,
Um,
that's what I'm saying. It used to be that simple, right, Gmo Merkel? It was just simple. Why does it got to be complicated? It used just two genders, man. You know that decision that you were making. That was where you did that. That was all your biz. You keep it to yourself.
Yep. Like about a month ago, I'm at Myers, and there's two guys walking hand in hand, and I had a little bit of an issue with it and stuff. And I had my oldest daughter with me, and she kept saying, "Shut up, Dad! Shut up, Dad!" You know, the
Well,
entire
you know,
time we're like walking right behind these guys.
If I ever
And,
come to
and
Michigan, I'm gonna hold your hand.
that's fine, you
mm,
sassy bitch. And they go around the corner, we go the other way, which is normal because I'm super straight. And they came across this aisle and cut me off. And the tongue biting disorder, it kicked in full blast because I can't do it. And I go, I smell shit. Did you guys just have sex?
Damn. And their reply?
Nothing. What are you going to say to that?
Well, I don't know. They could have maybe at least said no.
Well, I expected, the one to at least hit me with his purse.
Oh, you're so mean.
you know what, though? People are gross. I don't care if you're gay or straight. I don't
Right.
know if any of you have ever watched scat porn, but you can come across a straight couple and they are far more disgusting than
Oh, people are freaks.
people are disgusting. So, but I think it's the overall, the social decorum, and it's not about not being able to be free. You know, it's a behind closed doors thing. You've got kids in public. You've got, you've got to consider your impact when you're out in a public space. You can't just wave certain things, and it just so happens the trend recently has been about sexuality,
Right.
which that's like extra. That's too much. I mean, I remember some of my exes, and if they were in uniform, you could not hold hands in public. There was no public displays of affection, no PDA. Strictly forbidden if they were in their uniforms, even if you had to stop by the store, which they were supposed to be out of their uniforms, but in the store, there was just a standard of decorum, and it comes down to that, I think, with the sexual stuff being shoved down our throats too much. I don't personally care. I have friends and family members who are gay. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. It's certain
What's
things
up,
in the
Rank?
sphere, Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, but just don't take and throw it everywhere.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, you can have your gay time on your time, but on my time, let's kind of cut it to a minimum.
Yeah.
Because
What's really?
you
I mean,
don't
so
have to
what?
come see me because I'm not going to bother going to see you.
What's wrong with being polite? I mean, why has that got to be such a big flipping ass deal? Just be
Right.
polite to people, be courteous, be respectful of somebody, and do you, boo.
Right.
It all falls on the bullshit victimhood, Me Too, whatever. And what's the new one where girls don't want men anymore. Was it the B4 movement?
Oh, they
Yeah,
shaved
well,
their heads.
I'm 100% supporting that all the way
Right,
because only conservatives will reproduce.
pretty much.
As long as we can keep them thinking conservative.
Well, if they have money in their pocket, they're going to think whoever did it is what they want to be.
Well, I can get okay. I get hey man, easy money, and so that's enticing, and then I can get that, you know. But when did people just stop even like not even giving a shit about the quality of what they were being paid to do, or any that just like stop giving a shit about a job? I mean, that statement of just showing up for a check literally took on a life of its own, and it's like, oh yeah, buddy, hell, they won't even show up and they want the check now.
So, who is the largest employer of American families?
Hmm.
The federal government.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, when you look at that whole God, I forgot how big that was. I was shocked when I heard it. All the federal employees,
Yeah,
all the
there's over
contracts.
20 million federal
Yeah,
employees.
yeah.
And then you have the NGOs that have hundreds of thousands of people in those.
I am kind of excited about this ag lady that's coming in, Rollins, because I hope that she's one of the good old school FFA kind of ladies,
Yeah.
and so I'm hoping she brings that back. Matter of fact, one of the senators asking her about whole milk in schools, and she was like, "Yeah, whole milk. We need whole milk."
Mhm.
Yeah, but is it whole milk, vitamin D whole milk, or is it the not unpasteurized whole milk?
Well, I don't know which one she was referring to. But I would think it would be a good choice, whole milk. You know,
Right, but the
but I don't
reason
know.
that they started pasteurizing milk is because people didn't understand that after you're working in the field, you have to wash your hands, then wash the udders before you get milk, or you're going to contaminate it.
Mhm.
E. coli.
And they started having all these restrictions on, how you process it, and then they had to pasteurize it still. But if they just use the safe, clean aspect, you don't need to pasteurize it anymore. And instead of having to refrigerate the milk, you can leave it out on the fucking counter.
Well, it should be your choice.
Exactly.
If even if some big group, board and swears up and down it's bad. Okay, fine, dude. Issue your little pamphlets, spit out your facts, but you don't get to control the narrative. If then, good old Amos wants to sell his shit, he ought to be entitled to sell his shit right next to yours, and I get to decide which one I want to pick up.
Right.
Right. Like up until last year, I could buy unpasteurized milk at Myers. And then Michigan put another bullshit little law on, and then I can't get it there anymore.
I'm hoping a lot of these regulations and all this bullshit from like the FDA, USDA, EPA, whatever alphabet. I'm hoping that a lot of that shit goes away with people like Massey, Rand Paul rather, because they're trying to fight for it. Eli Crane, little Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's some fighters. So we just hopefully they keep the momentum going because it's freedom, dude. You ought to have a freedom of choice. And one thing I
Right.
can say about this whole silencing thing that they did with their censorship is it really made people more aware of what you're really entitled to some other shit that you've been overlooking for a little bit, like that. You should be able to get to decide on what medicine you want to take. You should get to decide what milk you want to buy. You should get to decide. And it made people start because they realized just it's like, wait a minute, I'm not even getting to hear opinions or thought. Oh yeah, and it made people dig into shit and expose. We just got to see what happens now that shit's been exposed.
Yeah, well, I don't think there should be any regulation on medicines. I don't think there should be a legal drinking age. But that's for me going overseas and like watching a 5-year-old go up to the bar and get a pint for their mom and dad and take it back to them.
Yeah,
And the countries where it's traditional for the family to have a glass of wine, a small or large, depending on where you're at, with dinner.
Right. I knew families like that. They were actually extremely Christian family. The dad was a reverend, and they had a little wine glass every night. The teenagers too. Might have been like a 1 ounce. It looked like a wine glass, but it was really, really small on a stem, and that
yeah.
was part of the tradition and of their culture.
Oh well, there is, isn't there? There's a certain, I don't know, what do you call that, a sect or whatever of Christianity or something that it's like it's in the Bible. You drink a glass of wine that's in Jesus's blood or something like that, and I mean
Yeah.
you do it on the day, but I think people see that as, and it was supposed to be healthy. It's just a sanctified drink or something, a glass of wine a night. I think there even used to be some weird poem back in the day about a glass of wine. It fit in there because it's supposed to be heart healthy.
Yeah, red wine is.
Yeah.
But
I remember that as young. It was promoted that way.
I don't think that laws stop criminals.
Yeah.
So I started smoking when I was like 11 or 12, cigarettes. I would steal half butts from hotel ashtrays, or like, I know that's disgusting, okay? But I was born in the 70s. It was what I could do. And then later on you could find at bowling alleys or
Oh
whatever,
yeah, man. Well, you were
75
born in the
cents.
era of the pull machine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You pull the little thing lever over to your brand and then hope the right one comes out. Like it,
right.
it didn't stop me. But other people my age didn't do it because they weren't inclined. I
Yeah,
was super young for whatever reason. I wanted tobacco.
that was the rebellious kid.
I think it was also like self-medicating ADD, like it calmed you down. Honestly, cigarette is kind of a buzz when you're 10. So
Nicotine.
yeah. But it didn't matter what the law was. No one even enforced it. So I don't think
Right.
I'm not saying we shouldn't have laws. I'm just saying that it doesn't stop someone set on breaking it. They're still going to break it.
Well, see, I think like those laws, the way that I because I look back now, they were like checks and balances. Yeah, we call them laws, but that's just it. You didn't ever see nobody like get thrown on the hood because you're 12, you got a pack of cigarettes. I mean, you got your ass chewed out, and they took the pack of cigarettes, and then depending, but you didn't. There was like no big to do. I think it's just somewhere. It's like it's almost like it became those kind of laws became such a problem that even the other side was like, whatever. And then now they've escalated to there's extremes on both sides.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, okay, great. Yeah, we totally missed this whole moral compass in case Bushido's listening. Oh, and by the way, food for thought, he has not finished moving to Arkansas. We talked about that this morning. Some people had asked. I reached out. He is not, but he is doing good. So,
Yeah,
but anyway,
candy cigarettes were conditioning too, and I loved candy cigarettes, man. You felt like official. And
we'll see.
cartoons
You
back
get to,
then had smoking. The Flintstones had smoking.
we had
They
no
took it
idea.
out, but
We had no idea what we were doing in here. That
no,
was because we played like we were grown up, but we were actually kids. And see, weird. How'd that happen? So when we were kids, and we knew we were kids, and we knew we were kids playing like adults, but we
Yep.
knew we were kids. And
Yep.
then it's like, but now it's no, somewhere just the lines just got totally fucked up. And I just sometimes I wonder how. And I know that there's a big gap for me because I had a good decade and a half where it's just with real life, and I was just kind of zoomed in on what was going on around here and the kiddos. And but yeah, I don't know what happened outside my little bubble. I want my pool of tranquility back.
Don't we all?
Right. I will say the cigarettes changed though over the years, man. With all the chemicals, they got people chemically addicted to cigarettes.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed. I mean, Devil Dog, how would you do it if you're saying, okay, maybe not a drinking age, which for me, if you're old enough to serve this country, I think you should be old enough to buy a beer. But
Yes.
how do we set a boundary as far as responsible human being? Is it by age? Is it just there is
Hey,
no
Shorty.
boundary? Hey, Shorty. I mean, how would we mitigate super young kids from, honestly, I wouldn't want my 10-year-old able to go buy a bottle of vodka. There are some kids in really bad situations that would do that to cope and knowing what they're doing, not just being a curious whippersnapper, Oh, he might have wandered off. But what do you guys think?
I just got back.
Oh, okay. Shit. Did you hear my question?
No, I heard something about vodka and 11-year-old.
Okay, so you had mentioned no drinking age, and for me, I think if you can serve this country, you should be able to buy a beer. Now, what
That's
kind
actually
of
what it used to be in the 80s. If you had a military ID, you could drink in any state.
right? Which I agree with that. Now, there's no drinking age or no age to buy cigarettes, and that would extend nowadays in a lot of states to weed. Um, so would there be any boundaries? How would you set boundaries, if at all, in this format? Like
Parenting.
what did you say?
Parenting.
Oh, parenting. Well, sure, certainly, yeah. So I mean, that kind of opens up a big Darwin Award situation. What about a 11-year-old that might be able to get behind the wheel of a car because they're out of their mind on vodka and don't know how to mitigate that impulse? And then, is it entirely parenting? I don't know if we can blame the sins of a kid on the parent. At
Well,
some point, there's an age of accountability.
part of the parent's job is to teach morality and to also give them consequences for their actions as young. So if they are on like the riding lawnmower and they go over mom's favorite flower, there has to be a penalty for that.
Well,
Do you
that's
know what I'm
mom's
getting
favorite
at?
flower. Well, sure, but what about civil penalties? Mom's favorite flower, she'll dole out her punishment, and you will probably not mess with that flower again. Now, how is this distributed in a civil environment?
Well, it has to go with, striking a sibling or, doing something to harm someone else, not necessarily physically, could be financially or emotionally or whatever.
Hmm.
But, there has to be a penalty at home for that. And then when they're grown and everything else, they're going to be like ready to do something stupid, and then they're going to go, no, I really shouldn't.
But in the meantime, does the parent go to jail if their 11-year-old fucks up?
Okay, if the parent takes the child out, teaches the child how to properly use an automobile,
Hey,
and
Jim.
the child uses the automobile, let's just say happenstance, there's no such thing as a driver's license, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's set that as the premise.
Mm-hmm.
And the child goes and injures somebody else. The parent is financially responsible for fixing that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the person's like 18, then they're in charge of making it right. Or,
I don't know,
even
man.
16, or we can go back to 14, you were an adult in the 1800s.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There's got to be an age of accountability because my sons, when like a decade ago, when they were 14, they damaged some property, and it came out of their asses. There were fines involved, um, and I didn't pay that shit. Hell no.
Yeah,
That
but okay, Rude, the
their job.
fines. Did the fines go to the injured party or to the fucking state?
That's a good question. I would have to go back and look at the paperwork as far
Well,
as if the offended party actually got those funds. That's a question I cannot answer off the top of my head. I just
don't
remember.
fines go to the
'Cause-
state, and restitution is what goes to the victim?
Yeah,
Right.
but you're getting all legal crazy on me. But what happened was my daughter got in an accident with somebody who brake checked her. And the cop
Mhm.
wouldn't listen to a 17-year-old. They'd rather listen to this. Um, what's a nice word for cunt? Oh, there
Um,
isn't one. Never mind. And she ended up. My daughter got a ticket for causing an accident, and I had it all set up where the cop wasn't going to show up, and she went and she paid it, and it was $189. And that's just because she got in an accident. It was a fine. So
mhm.
she paid the state, and the lady got nothing out of it.
Sure.
And I'm still fuming about that.
Yep.
And
I'm.
if you actually want to find out who I am, you can find the judge that I blew up their shit when I found out this all went down.
Not literally.
It's a racket, Lady Smith, for sure. And the insurance companies come in for the secondary racket. But I mean, to Devil Dog's point, though, you do have to raise your kids with a understanding of accountability. So in my case, though, I'm not sure if it was restitution or if it went to the state. I do not recall, sir, but I do know I made the kid pay it. And um,
Right. Either way, the kid's responsible
Yeah.
for it.
yeah, either way. And if the state didn't do it, I did. He felt it in that sense, and um, but accountability is lacking across the board in our society, in our culture, and it does come down to the home, the nuclear family, the parentage. The problem is it's multi-generational now, where people have to break the cycle because if you're not everyone can break out of being raised in an environment that you lie, cheat, and steal to make your way through with no accountability.
Yeah. I, I'm going to change the subject just a little bit. Okay, Root?
Bring it.
Okay. Brian Griffin says never leave a witness.
Hmm.
I was on a D live with this other guy and stuff, and I said, and he's like so anti 2A. And I go, I'm fine and I'm comfortable with that. Are you comfortable with me having one because I know I can secure my property and my family with it? He's like, he's good with that, but he doesn't want it anywhere around him. I said, cool, you're not invited over. We fixed that problem. And I said, let's say somebody breaks into your house, everybody's home, and they're threatening you and your family with actual harm. What are you going to do? And he goes, oh, I'd call 811. And I go, yes, I'm totally with you. 811 is Miss Diggs, so you know where to bury the body because you're not going to take care of any wires or anything under the ground.
Right. It's to check where the gas lines are. Make sure
All
you
before you dig.
call before you dig. Exactly.
See, and he's way against 2A, but he's willing to kill to protect his house.
I mean, that's kind of a wild sentiment. I'm not sure how to close that gap in society because you'll see it even with a lot of woke people, so to speak. I say woke in quotes, all right? It could be
Right.
folks, it could be whatever, but they're so like anti 2A in every way. But then if it comes down to it, they expect the 2A to be used to save their ass. And I'm not sure how we bridge that gap in how people think, because I think that those uber liberals, I think they think, well, if all the guns are off the street, you'll stop crime and violence. They're not understanding
Okay.
crime and violence is the person, not the tool. But how do we bridge that gap? You know, they don't get it.
Yeah, to be totally honest, I've been around guns my whole life, and I've never, ever, 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 ever seen a gun shoot anything.
Right.
But see, you know what? Now that since you bring it up like that too, because I've noticed you actually, so take that gun mentality that they do, the bad, evil tool that's doing all this harm. And that's across the board. I mean, it really is. Everything gets blamed. That falls into that self accountability point. There's always an object. There's something else to blame this on. It's not the person behind that.
Right.
It's the drug's fault. It's not the person that took the drug or the person that sold them the drug. No. It's drug. You know, it's the alcohol's problem, not the person that drank it, but it's the alcohol's fault.
Nope, it's the parents'
It's
fault.
all those, and then you get into job titles. Oh, it's the cops. It's the politicians. It's the doctors. You see, that's that single group, and to me, it's that it seems and it falls in the same thing. It's finds a general consensus to blame it on, and then no individual has to be accountable because the minute a person is held accountable, it trickles. It's like a virus because then it's the same one. It's the same. It goes across, and next thing you know, it spreads. It's like self accountability.
Yeah, and they try to blanket everything into one category. Let's go back to the driving thing. My youngest daughter, I would feel comfortable her driving me around everywhere in one of my big trucks at the age of 8. Now, my first generation, my oldest kid, she's 42 now. She should have never had a fucking license. She gets in she totals 1 or 2 cars a year.
Damn.
So, Root, you know what I mean, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
oh man. It's a slick slope to say, let's pass out IQ tests for certain rights, but it is kind of appealing at the same time. You can't vote if it's not over 70. You can't do certain things. You can't serve in our government if it's not over 71.
Yep.
Yep. And Bonnie, I taught my younger one how to drive. The other one, didn't want nothing to do with me. Always went to her worthless mother.
And that's why I tell the missus we'll be going down the road or going to the doctor's thing, and somebody does some crazy shit, and I'll go, "Hey, just goes to show you. See, there was no IQ test on the driver's license.
Hmm.
That driving test said that as long as you sign your name, okay. Matter of fact, nowadays it's outsourced, so just write the check, pay the whole fee for the school thing, and then sign your name. And look, you got a certificate. Go get your driver's license." And they do that even with big trucks now too. That's the real scary part.
That is
Yeah,
the
that's huge scary.
Yep.
It's
Well,
like, oh,
I
just go to the
say
trucking
that.
school. When you go
I
to that
say
trucking
that.
school, you'll come back with your certificate. Just give us that. And it's like, oh yeah, but nobody checks those schools, man. Them schools don't give a shit. Give them the $6,000, you get the certificate.
Well, okay, when it comes to car, truck, anything, I don't give a shit what it is. I don't give a shit if it'll go, but it must stop. If it doesn't stop, it doesn't need to be on the road. And I go back to my dad was murdered on the highway because there was a semi truck that had one operating brake and one actual good tire. And the good tire blew, and the functioning brake locked up on the hub, and it went across the highway median and hit the car that my dad was in, and it ended up crushing between the trailer and the cab.
Jesus.
Man.
So, like my kids say, "Hey, Dad, I'm having problems with the car. It's making all these noises." I go, "How does it stop?"
Hmm.
And they tell me it's good. They have good tires and stuff. And I say, "Then you're fine. It's your problem. Figure out how to make it go." And Chloe, my youngest, goes, "Hey, Dad, my tires are a little bit bald. This is right at our first snow." I said, "Okay." I told her, "Go up to Discount Tire and have them look at it." And the guy up there, he gives me a call and says, "Well, she has decent tread on two tires, and the other two are ice skates." I said, "Well, replace the two ice skates, and I'll be happy. And you guys have my card on file, and it's all handled." Anything to stop. I don't give a shit if you can go, because if you can't go, it doesn't matter if you can stop.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing. Now I got a pet peeve with like DOT and the big trucks because it's like this is such. When does anybody wake up and realize how much bullshit that is? I'm sorry, you pass by. Here goes a Tahoe. Well, there goes a DPS DOT guy. Oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, you just 30 minutes go by and you're behind them, and they've done. Now there's a gap, and oh, here comes by this 18-wheeler, and as you pass by, it's like there's grease wads slinging out of the axle. You look up underneath, and there's like oil stains all down the sides, bald tires on the trailer, and you're going, when do you actually go to work? I mean, duct tape holding the left blinker still in the fiberglass fender on the hood, and you're
Oh,
like, really? Half the lights ain't on, and it's like, when did that happen? Because I remember back when I drove, that was like rule number one: don't put a light on your truck unless you're ready to babysit that, because that would be a DOT ticket. If you put it on, it better work. Nowadays, it's like, who gives a shit? And it's like, man, these fucking things, that's 70,000 pounds going down the road. I think the lights ought to work. I'm thinking I ought to be able to see where that damn back of that truck is at. I think. Matter of fact, how many trailers have you seen with bent-in DOT bumpers on the back?
right.
A lot.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, that happened for a reason, just so we're clear.
Well, okay. To be fair, the bent DOT bumper in the back is usually on a Swift truck.
Well, I'm thinking sometimes they back into shit. It's not even their
Like I said, a Swift truck.
that swift.
Swift are idiots.
You gotta back into something pretty flipping solid to bend that DOT bumper inside under that trailer, just simply because that's their design. They got designed because a car actually went underneath one and it decapitated the driver. That's how they come up with the whole DOT bumper for trailers. Of course, that sounded really good at the time, but you kind of zoom out and go, I'm not sure that that still helps the person that smacks the shit out of that DOT bumper. You might not get decapitated, but you might get impaled by your steering column. It's still an abrupt stop.
Nah, it's not an abrupt stop until you get all the way to the axle.
Right. No, it's abrupt one way or another, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
Merkel says, I think the city folks learn slower. They're driving. I've driven in New York City, DC, Chicago, every major city in this country, pretty much. LA is absolutely the worst. They are in
New York.
Where?
New York.
Oh yeah, I've
Houston.
driven in New York, DC, Baltimore, all up that corridor. New York City is a fucking trip. And what gets me is they're kind of skilled how close they get to each other and to other obstacles, and there are very few collisions or sliding along each other. It's wild. They can kind of stop on a dime. I mean, it's not pleasant. I'm not saying it's pleasant in any way, but
Right.
I've been a little bit impressed with how few collisions occur in this densely packed, moving ant farm that is, your New York's. LA is New York
Yeah.
City and LA both are just absolute nightmares.
See,
Absolutely.
I felt that way.
It's
I told the
organized
missus, though,
insanity.
it's like they're crazy. They know how to drive crazy. That's the catch. I don't know how that works, but it's like they know how to drive crazy.
Yep, they do.
Yep, organized insanity.
hmm They have an instinct almost. The tunnels out there
Matter of
too,
fact,
New York.
when I drove, I used to. I'd tell anybody, and if I drove now, it might be different. But I know back then, son, I'd rather drive in L.A. or Chicago or any of those rather than Houston, Texas, because in Houston they drive stupid. They just don't know how to drive stupid. So there's accidents, like shit happens. And so
Yeah.
there's a difference when you can drive stupid, but you know how to drive stupid, and
Right.
somehow it works, even though it doesn't make sense, it's okay. But when you try to do that, but you really don't know how to do it, then shit never works out.
Man, I don't know if I did Houston, but Dallas was an absolute nightmare. Driving through
Yes.
Dallas is.
Oh, Dallas Fort Worth wasn't bad compared to downtown Detroit during rush hour.
Yep. Done that too.
Yeah.
But see, it's like they know how to do it. That's what's so crazy. But somehow in Houston they don't. And that Dallas, I could see that. Son, I don't know how many I seen we'd build doing the DFW connector project.
Oh,
Yeah.
Built a lot of that. I built a lot of that spaghetti shit. Drilled a lot of the foundation holes for the overpasses, and man, people just smack the shit out of stuff. It's like, okay, you saw that for the last half mile. I mean, really? And it's like, nope. Here comes a wrecker. And I'd be sitting on either in the crane or on the dozer or something, and up on the bank, all these orange cones. And the next thing you know, here comes a truck, and they're bam, and then takes out about 7 of them and comes to a stop. And it's like, really? At what point did it dawn on you? Wow, I think there's some shit right there. I mean, fall asleep, the phone fell. I didn't see that. You hear all kinds of crazy shit, and it's like, see, you just don't even know how to drive stupid, man. Y'all can do all the weaving. You zigged when you should have zagged.
Back in the day, it was you're changing your CD.
Shit, you had to dig under that seat and pull out
Don't
that
mean
8-track
changing your
case,
tape.
girl. Matter of fact, you'd have to reach underneath that forward bench seat, pull out that 8-track case, reach out and grab that pink Bad Company 8-track and stick it in that deck.
Oh, hell no. Eagles Hotel California.
Well, that too, but I'm a Bad Company
Yep,
diehard.
track three rocks on that one.
Shit, man, I think Bad Company was some of my younger life theme songs for a little while. I tried to like live every song damn near.
Right.
Yeah, my
But
parents had eight
like
track.
up here in Michigan, my most favorite day to be on the road is the day after the first snow, because the first snow usually makes all the idiots without a car for about a month.
For a month.
A
Well, that's how
month?
long it takes them to get it back out of the shop.
A
Dang.
month though?
It doesn't matter how many shops you have. When they get flooded, it takes a minute to get them out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I'm
for a
a
whole
as
month after the first snow, it's safe to be on the road.
any of you smokers out there, Eimer says a hot box falls between your legs. Or if you like flick a cigarette out the window and it comes in through the back passenger window,
Oh,
and
and you just know shit's gonna go bad.
you can smell it go and you're like, fuck it, yes.
It's like, oh shit, I know they just came back in. Oh damn,
Yeah,
damn.
exactly.
Pull over on the side of the road. You
Yeah,
fucking
you have
forward,
to.
scoot the seat forward, going, where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly,
Yes,
yeah.
now that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
Charger, here it goes.
That's what it is, Bonnie. Hopping, trying to drive at the same time, patting your crotch. That's our first instinct as humans is to start patting your crotch. Like, after the women make sure it's not in their hair, you start patting the crotch, making sure you're not sitting on it while you're driving. You have
Yeah.
enough
Oh,
Hot
time.
rod
son.
cooking.
And back in the day, the Aquanet and White Rain days. Oh, son.
Oh yes, that'll
That
go
was
up.
explosive.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, going dancing tonight. All right. Well, there goes a half a can.
Hmm. Yeah, but that Aquanet works so good in those potato guns.
That's a
Oh,
badass
now
spider killer too with a big ladder. Let me tell you, it's some badass commando shit.
Right.
the flamethrower for sure.
Yeah, that's it.
That was the best of times.
That's it. Right. See, that was controlled chaos. We knew how to do it.
We did.
These kids don't know how to do crazy shit. They really do the batshit crazy, insane crazy shit. It's like, no. You don't ever go full retard. Don't you know?
Yeah, because
Don't
if you
you
go
know?
full retard, Dad's gonna have your ass when you get home.
Worth
You
it.
never go full retard.
Not full retard. Oh no, retard. That's one of those things we're probably not allowed to say, so we just have to stick with Riri.
Hey, Lady Smith, I can tell you right now, the missus back in the day, we would go up to this dance hall on weekends and stuff, and homegirl in there in her little redneck cowgirl days with her little white jeans and her little leather belt and her turquoise buckle and her fringe shirts and son a half a can of White Rain had them wings like the shit. And
Mhm.
because
That
by
was
God, that hair better not move. You can two step, you can dip, you can spin, but that shit better not move after the fact. It better stay right where the hell it is.
you turn your head, it's all the same shape.
That's it.
It is spackled in.
Got to do all the moves, but that hair better not move a spot.
I'm telling you, man, that shit took work. You'd get your
Come
curling
on, girl.
iron.
We got to go in the bathroom. I got to take care of this.
Yo, it's a thing.
What's up,
But I
wildlife?
think you really just ended up getting high on the Aquanet fumes, Aquanet and White Rain, and any of those aerosol
You're right.
hairsprays. Just like
That's what went wrong with girls.
all the time. Yeah.
That's what went wrong with girls. It was the damn bathrooms. They were y'all were in there huffing that shit while y'all are doing your hair, and it's like they came out higher as shit.
Yeah, we were trapped. Like, I'll go with you all. Let's go to the bathroom. You had to
Okay,
know.
I get it now. The hair was all sticking up. It's kind of like that one scene in Airplane. This is really a bad week to stop sniffing glue.
100%. I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the fish. Yeah. That's absolutely. I love that movie, dude. I love it.
Yeah. Well, okay. My daughter Lexi, she's gonna be 20 in February. Holy crap! How'd that happen? But she calls her truck Clarence. So every time she came over for like 6 months ago, you got enough clearance, Clarence? You got enough clearance, Clarence?
Yeah. What's your
And she goes,
vector?
Dad, that's stupid. And then I played the little clip for her of that. And then, the next time I saw her, I said, did you have enough clearance, Clarence? She goes, Roger, Roger. Which is the next line in the movie.
That's hilarious. And that was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? If I'm not mistaken. In the cockpit, there was a basketball player, the big African-American man. He was a famous basketball player. I think it was Kareem Abdul.
No. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it was. The
Yes,
big brother.
yes, I agreed.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's before OJ got into it.
Yeah, it's before OJ.
Yep.
I speak jive. Hey, stewardess.
Wasn't OJ in Police Squad?
I don't remember.
Oh, no, The Naked Gun.
Okay, now OJ was in a couple of movies. The Naked Gun, I did see that. Was he in Naked Gun?
I don't know. He did a couple Leslie Nielsen's.
Yeah, I could see that. He was in a few, kind of playing himself, playing OJ, playing OJ, playing OJ.
Well, that's what his name was, OJ.
The Juice.
Right.
Yeah. So do you think he did it, or was it his son? Or was it a random man with those gloves and brown shoes?
Let me check my give a fuck-o-meter. Nope, we're still taking 0.
Yeah, I gotcha. I just remember that shit was the incoming of media being a reality show, sort of. Like, I don't know exactly what year the murders happened, but my first job was Taco Bell in 1994. I was 16 years old, and I came home from work one day, and the OJ trial, the chase, I think it was the Bronco chase, came on, and it never left for almost 3 years. And it was one of the first media firestorms that took people over for years, and it introduced the same formula coming up to now. We're seeing this same thing. They can drag some shit out forever. But I've always been fascinated because I do think he did it. But
yep, I still don't care.
Well, but to me, the reason I care is the media blow up. That's when Fox News became a huge thing. That's when a lot of them started introducing a narrative into our daily lives. And that's a huge thing in the race wars, the continued division. That was a big deal. Even people who knew deep down he was guilty, it didn't matter. It was a black or white issue. Yeah, in real time. Yep.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest early race baiting type court trial.
Exactly, race baiting and propaganda and all of that. And Kissoff said The Naked Gun, The Klansman, and Roots, the movie Roots with Reading Rainbow, LeVar Burton.
Yeah.
So with OJ was in Naked Gun. That was Leslie Nielsen. The Klansman, I don't know if I saw that. And
Yeah.
okay, commercials for Hertz. Yep. Gotcha.
Like one of James Earl Jones' first movies he ever was in was fuck the River Nigger. That was a great movie.
Who was in it?
James Earl Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a great job in that movie. That movie was so good.
I'd give it a whirl.
Yeah, and if you search for it, it doesn't have very much press. And it's an old movie. It's like late 60s, early 70s.
Right.
And it'll fall into your B movies, but it's actually a little bit better than a B movie.
Dude, a lot of the B movies were better. B for better.
Right.
Yes, Obama did abuse it.
Well, you know it's all about racism and race baiting if Al Sharpton's there.
Oh, ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, I think he's the biggest racist in America.
Well, and we got Quanell down here.
Yeah.
We got Quanell X, or I think it is, or whatever his name is. Everything that happens, it's a race thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jesse Jackson, he's the other race baiter.
Yes.
Thank you, Michelle.
The thing that people don't understand about Martin Luther King, he was scheduled to spend the night on the bottom floor. And Jesse Jackson was in charge of his security along with Al Sharpton, and they moved him to the second floor, and that's when he got off.
Interesting.
The fun things about history,
Mm-hmm.
you find the documentation, shit doesn't change.
Okay, so Trump signed, we're going to release what's left of the JFK files, JFK, RFK, and MLK.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Right. So here's my thing, right? I'm assuming that he's going to release the rest of the Warren report or other documents around the narrative that has already been built. My thing kind of is, I don't believe the Oswald narrative. So if we just release more Warren report, what difference does that actually make? Do you see?
No. From what I heard, because I watched him when he signed it, I just happened to be watching, and it was the last one, because he even made a little comment, and he put the cap on the pen and he handed it to that guy who goes, "Give this to RFK,"
Yes.
the one that he actually signed it with.
Yes.
But the way he said it was all the files, and then he rattled off RFK, what was it, Bobby, and then MLK.
Mm-hmm. But do we trust the files?
Well, now see, there's a side note though, in a real basic, God's honest truth kind of thing. I'm sorry, what are they going at the J6 committee for right now? Why did they pardon them? Because they destroyed all the evidence that they had. So then you're turning around, you're going, okay, so you're going to give us all those, and it's like, really? So really, what's really left? You got Hillary Clinton, who fucking scraps a bunch of servers and has, wasn't it the FBI I think she had, or was it the Secret Service, to get rid of all their phones? Remember that? So
yes.
I don't expect to see any shock and awe thing, to be honest.
Me neither.
That the actual action is cool to finally get you know, maybe this will set an example that we don't allow these things to hide for so long and give them time to do this. Because I don't think there's anything left.
No, I don't think so either. They're never going to, because there is no file that says what actually happened. That's the nature of these types of ops.
Well, there's
And
logistic files, and that's what they worry about is logistic files that tie things together. But those are gone. We do this. We did this for a living. You know what I'm saying? As a country, we go in places and we go, okay, when shit goes south, torch. Okay, we have procedures, and it's like what they just been sitting on this. Like, okay, yeah, I'm with you. I don't think there's anything.
nothing new.
Yeah, that or they might use it to shift something. Now I could do that. I could see that. To okay, well, everybody's knowing that, it wasn't Harvey. Hey, why don't we shift it over here? And, to be honest, they could make shit up and put it on somebody. And we wouldn't know if that's true or not.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's actually a thought. They'll
It,
cater to the conspiracy thing and they'll just feed somebody that they want to make an example of.
I think they'll cater to the narrative that's already established. So there could be new little things in there about Oswald or other people and Ruby, and it's going to cater to the same narrative. But most of us know the OG narrative doesn't add up. So we're not going to see connections made between LBJ or the CIA or anything else like that, because that's a threat to national security. And no matter what Trump and he can sort of release things that are already within the narrative that aren't released, but those threats to national security and the way that we operate never coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know though, see, because they've had people that have, like, it's been so just the shooting position and where they said with the weapon has been debunked for decades. So that's what's always made somebody go, there's more to this. I mean, that's why the general consensus across America is that they did it. Think about that. That's how that, because there's just some things you can look at and people have tried to recreate that. It's like yeah, it ain't happening. And so I have a feeling that they're going to throw somebody else out there, and it'll probably be somebody. Who knows? It might just be somebody that's already gone, and
right.
so it'll be just we'll blame. Well, oh, yeah, there was more than just him, and yeah, because he's related to so and so, this was quieted, or what? It'll be some excuse to because they'll have to cater to that. They're going to have to try to cater. I think maybe not. It's hard to say anymore. My God, the shit that they've just did in the past 4 years, it's like, fuck, I don't know. What's the craziest shit you can think of? Yeah, that could happen.
Right?
Yeah,
Nothing
like
right.
one of the investigators of the Kennedy thing said on his deathbed that Oswald's gun was never fired.
Yeah, see, I could believe that. There's so
I
much.
could too, because if you look at all the different directions of impact, none of them would have came from where he was.
Well, and to really, in all honesty, to me now, I'm sorry, look at the extent that they go to if you even begin to hint at threatening that war machine.
Right.
And so you go, yeah, man. And, you think of just like, oh, the CIA, really? Look at how some of these staff people and stuff have been acting and all these intertwined with all this, the inner DC people. Yeah, that dude up in that car could have very well just shot his ass from right in the front seat. You know,
Well,
there's
from the video, it actually looks like one of the shots came from um, the driver's seat from down low.
yeah, like a under the arm thing.
Right. But I'm no expert and I don't play one on TV.
Well, and when you think about it, because things were so, I don't know how you'd say that, just they were so sectioned out. It's like, oh, you're the FBI, you investigate. Well, other cops would even step out of the way because that's the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Okay, and so you can totally, you're going to have control of the whole scene the moment it happens.
Right.
So, I mean, and then you get to actually decide. And if you're working in tandem with another agency that's kind of really like some of that stashed out money that you've kind of been helping them out to, it's all their little dark. And that's how I love it when the politicians talk about dark money. It's like dark money. You don't even want to look at the dark money.
Yeah. Well, Navy vet, another thing Kennedy was trying to do is get rid of income tax.
Yeah.
And that because Trump wants to do the same thing, that puts me in a little bit of fear for Trump.
Yep.
Because you're fucking with the banking system then.
I think one or more of those shots came from inside the car, and I think that whatever files could be released from this order, yeah, they'll be interesting, they'll confirm the narrative, but what would happen if we got the actual videos that have been confiscated and things not in those files that show the multi-layered effort this was?
Okay, Rude, the office of president can declassify anything that he feels fit. It doesn't matter if it's national security or anything. If it's our attack strategy, he can declassify that if he wants to.
Do you think he's really going to declassify every video? We know there's other videos. We know
Well,
that
there's going to be stuff that's archived somewhere that no one will be able to find, but there will be a record of it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we
Maybe.
know there's a lot of records that even the president can't find. Some of the secrecy of our agencies, the president never even sees.
Yeah, right. There's shit he doesn't even begin to know is going on.
Right.
Because that's the
Well,
see, and that's the same thing. Gangs and every organized kind of thing works that way because of the hierarchy involved. You have managers in stores that'll get away with shit that the regional manager gets away with, but he gets away with even more because he's the regional guy. Just like so when you put them heads of those agencies, all they do is you're giving them their own little short bus to drive, and they're like, okay, and they commence to doing their own little shit, and they get to control the information.
Yeah, it was either today or yesterday. One of the state Supreme Courts rendered an opinion that an agency's so-called laws have no effect.
Yeah.
I think that was in Wisconsin, but I'm not positive. That's like huge because that's going to trickle through all the states real quick.
Well, didn't the Chevron thing kind of play into some of that too?
Yep.
We are the aliens.
Yes, we are.
Yep.
We're the common sense aliens.
No.
And we've landed on the batshit crazy world.
Yep. Beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life here.
Right.
Well, I got into a rabbit hole about the homunculus. I highly recommend it if anybody is.
The what?
Homunculus, HOMONCULUS, homunculus, and
Clarification.
It's kind of like generating life from fungus or alchemical, or the Philosopher's Stone, like it gets kind of deep into alchemical processes and what ancient folks were doing, creating life from what you would call nothing. But if you really look into it, it's kind of like you can create a lot of life from fungi or a network like that. And this world is covered in a layer of fungus that actually they were the first and will be the last life forms here. And it's an interesting thought. We might have come out, aliens we assume are from outer space or off a ship or something. Well, I suggest, what if it involves water? What if it involves fungal nutrients that mix with the right things? And it kind of goes deep into ancient philosophical thought with the homunculus, but it's a wild
So
thought.
do these ever become like sentient
Yes.
beings?
Yes, like Dee is saying, we're all mushrooms. Like, it's kind of that idea that at some point, it's kind of a trick.
So this is
Literally,
kind of like an evolution kind of thing.
So
yeah,
I thought creating something out of nothing was called shagging.
yeah, some call it soaking. But if you think about it, if you consume certain mushrooms or you consume certain plants mixed together, you actually experience something that people would describe as interdimensional, or seeing,
Well, yeah, you trip.
you trip, but you could see certain entities or whatever. So it's a trip to consider, well, what if this compound that we can eat is representative of the root of life? And I'm not arguing evolution per se. I'm just getting like, there was this
No, I
rabbit
get you.
hole about the homunculus and the
Well, right.
philosopher's
So, but this
stone.
is like
How,
when you get really stoned and you're just thinking deep.
yeah, it happens,
Okay.
dude. It happens.
Well, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I get it because
That origin, yeah.
Yeah, I've had acid once, and I watched the sunset melt onto the horizon.
oh, dude, we used to do tabs whenever I was a teenager, and we would lay on the canal, and we would do tabs, and we would do shrooms, and we would watch the treetops, and sometimes the treetops would fight, sometimes they'd dance.
Yeah,
Then we'd
but
look down, and we
you're
would
fucked
see
up when they start
20-foot
singing.
gators and shit, and it just yeah. But we always had fun. We never had no bad trips.
I have not consumed mushrooms today, for the record. I to be clear, today, but just
Yeah.
and I'm kind
For
of
the record,
thinking
I've
about
never
things
put
like,
anything illegal in my body. But this one
me
time,
neither.
band camp.
Shit, I put
Me
a lot
neither.
in mine, but there's a statute of limitations, so there you go. Deal with it.
Yeah, been there for sure. But it's
Yeah.
just kind of like, I'm thinking of things too, like DMT and whatever, where that's a little bit different than like a shroom or whatever. That's a little different. People go on a much deeper shamanic walk.
See,
So what
I
if
think
I'm tapping into something?
I think that stuff taps into like your subconscious, kind of like what you just say, your real thoughts, your real feeling, your real stuff. That's what it takes away all your barriers. And I think that's why people, like somebody said that I've known people, D said, I found no people that found God. I think for that, if you want to see the Anunnaki, if you want to, and I think that's where but see, that's the way I remember doing those kind of trips as a young person, because that's why you'd hear, but you could look at the dude and you'd go, man, you gonna be around that dude when he does tabs? Hell no, it's kind of like being around the mean drunk. And because I don't know, that's why I always wonder if some of that isn't just tied into people's subconscious and kind of like into your true feelings, the stuff that even you don't really are aware of about yourself, that fear, that maybe anxiety, that stress, that happiness, that moment. Maybe it had a meaning in there. It's kind of like finding God. If you're really searching that, and you all of a sudden open that up, then your mind's going to take that and go with it.
I agree. I 100% agree. You're not going to see anything that isn't already in your subconscious or whatever. And, you don't want to take a journey like that around people who have inner demons. They will come out and you will see them if you're on the same process. I
Yeah.
I swear to God, and your instincts will come true. You will not see anything that is not there, in my opinion. Um, it's either something coming out from within you or what comes out from within others. You'll be able to see more clearly. Seeing like dinosaurs in the grass, certainly, but it's still the grass. Like it might look like certain shapes or whatever, but it's still grass. But if there are entities or dark shit in you already, there's no hiding it on any of those substances at all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Grandma Merkel. I talked to the toilet paper for over 2 hours.
That was
Dude.
a shitty conversation, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
rescue. D is
Sir.
not doesn't have a wrench. Are you getting rid of wrenches? Or are you going to be bringing them back or what?
Man, I was going to go ahead and try to start all fresh, but I went to that stupid little box in that studio and I thought, man, I'm going to have to sit here for like a half a freaking hour. So I'm clicking all these little X's. I just don't. So
No,
I don't
it'll
give a
probably be
shit.
more than a half hour.
I mean, there's quite a few. And so I don't care. I mean, what do you want to do? You want to share a link? If it's bad, you know what? If I don't see it now, I might see it later. Somebody might tell me about it, whatever. But most people can kind of catch shit. And so the only other thing you can do is what? Go to somebody's channel and go, oh, okay, I got their email now. Okay, woo. I just,
Yeah, yeah,
so
whatever.
yeah, no, but I can't do it right now because it's through the Streamlab thing. I can't. I'll just have to go back
Oh,
through the chat once it posts up.
right.
Let me see. Wait, hold on. I
Well,
can do that.
isn't Kiss Off a super mod?
No, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I've talked to you long enough, rescue. Yes, you are.
No, I'm insane. There's a difference.
Oh, I'm sorry, me bad.
Who isn't crazy? Anyone here who thinks they are not crazy, let us know. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Because I dare you. I will laugh openly. Anyone who comes in here and says they're not crazy.
Yeah, because I know I'm nuts. NUTZ
If you're
nuts.
here, we already proved that wrong.
Knuckin' futs.
Okay, so wait, no, I don't want to do that. Hold on. Oh man, see y'all are trying to get me to do shit on the phone and the
Gma
freaking
Merkel has said
retarded
you're full
YouTube.
of shit.
Huh?
No, I was telling Gma, her toilet paper said you're full of shit. It's a side chat. It's just
God dang it, man. I don't know how you do it on the damn phone. What do I do? Just can I press her name? Nope. That means I can remove her, report her, and pin it. I don't want to do that. How do you select them to do the mod thing? See,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I don't understand how y'all do this shit on a goddamn phone. It's unbelievable. You're talented enough to do this. You can email your frippin' ass representative in your center. This isn't complicated.
right.
God dang, how do you do this shit? Every time I try to hit anything on there, where's my three little dots next to the name? Nope. That's pinning or can I select it up there? Nope. Okay, can I do the image? Nope. There's no option. I don't know. Yeah, I'll just have
oh,
to.
rescue. D feels special that she's not blue.
Well,
But do you know what kind of special she feels? You
special
know what
ed.
Flakos is?
Special ed.
Yep. Twycos is crazy.
Hey, she's
I
got that
learned that
lean like her.
from Carlos Mencia.
Carlos Mencia. Oh, isn't that no, that was a different.
Well, he used to have a stand-up show that I think came on just before Chris Rock.
Yeah, Mencia is funny.
He's a riot. I got all of his stuff on video.
Huckleberry Supermart. There goes that channel. Now I think Huckleberry is. Didn't that make you a super mod? Oh, I think I did that way. I needed some backup to help keep Kiss Off in check.
Yeah.
She's a rambunctious one. I needed backup.
Right. Dang, Kiss Off.
Yeah. See, but the super mod can't do that. And I don't know the stupid phone. But I'll do it. I mean, I'll just have to wait. It'll post tomorrow because I say it saves the chat, so it might not show it right when I shut it off, but probably by tomorrow it'll be showing the chat, and I can just kind of zoom in it. I don't ever watch my own shit. I can't. I don't know. I could watch this because I could watch the fire again. Don't know if I'd want to have to listen to myself again.
Right.
I'm kind of an asshole.
Kinda. I mean, okay, Rescue, whatever you say.
There's no
Hey,
kind of in this dojo.
I've been taking a break.
Yeah, kinda.
Kinda.
Don't you know?
You're right. Okay, so all right, I'm looking at this fire, right? How come on the left it looks like a hard line, and then on the right a hard line, like there's a square behind it?
For
Is
what
there?
the fire?
Yeah, right on the left of the fire is a hard line, then right up a 90-degree angle and a hard line. Is your coop right behind it? It's tripping me
No,
off. It looks
it's
less running.
what's
It's probably
happening
just the
is
end of a log.
Nah, I'm talking
oh, I
going.
see. You're talking about where the shadow is right here.
Yes, yes. What is that hard line right behind you?
See that light right back there?
Yeah, all right. Huh.
So it's shining and on the back of my chair, and so that's the edge of my chair, and here's my arm right off the side of my chair.
Okay, gotcha. Because it looked like a separation of color, like there was the ash right there.
Man, you know what? You were trying to call out my green screen. See, I can't believe you're going to snitch on me like that.
No, I thought I was like, dude, is your screen getting like messed with on this hard line that looks like but if it's a shadow behind you, that makes sense. No, that's
No,
fun.
it's not very hard. It's
Yeah.
not hot at all.
Huh.
I do have 18% left, so it probably about 20 minutes or better. I'll probably have to call it. I've got this stupid little battery backup thing, but it just can't run the back of it. It's sucking the life out of it as fast as it is the tablet.
StreamYard does that on a phone or whatever. It sucks it
Well, actually,
fast.
it's lasted. I get a little bit longer because let's see, how long have I been doing? Yeah, I'm at 3 hours, almost 3.5 hours. So I think it's actually longer than I got out of StreamYard just off the tablet battery.
Yeah. So on a tablet, have you found that coming up on a panel or doing a live, does it slow down or glitch out more? Because I've got to get a new laptop. My laptop is shit. I'm working on a desktop right now. My phone doesn't do the StreamYard or live thing very well. So I thought, well, if I got a tablet, would that work? Or should it just go laptop? What do you think? Because I'm thinking
I
a tablet would be
I
like,
would recommend a laptop. I would recommend the laptop over a tablet
okay, that's what I'm thinking too.
because if I didn't get this to stream, I got it to mainly do my videos, watch the movies and stuff like that, and
Right.
just so I could lay in bed. And then I got to streaming, and it was like, oh, but then it StreamYard used to act funny. This one's with the Streaming Labs, the Talk Studio. It's when you set it up. I don't use it to set up any stream, so I just set it up on my PC, and then I just like do it, start it on the tablet. So there's a lot. I can't. I don't have a lot. I don't use the tablet for a lot of stuff. I'll put it that way. Like I'll use it to stream, but I don't set it up. I don't go to YouTube Studio and try to do anything there from the tablet. So doing that kind
Mm-hmm.
of stuff, I would say a laptop would be better. Plus, that's another thing. The tablet software is different than the PC software. So, like
Interesting.
your browser runs what's considered a mobile version. All the software is a mobile version that's for tablets and phones and stuff, where a PC will have a separate written program. So, like when you actually do your browser, you get a little bit better control over StreamYard and stuff than you probably would through this.
Right.
There's things you can't do. Like right now, I can't play the background music. Like if I was on the PC, I could go down here and I could share background audio, select some song out of a file library I got, and I could play it. But on the tablet, I can't because it doesn't know how to do that function that you can do on a PC
Huh.
because it's a different kernel setup. Anyway, that's way too more complicated probably than we wanted to know. But I guess I'd say my recommendation would be a laptop.
Love it. Carl. Surface
Well,
Pros, D says. Some versions turn to tablets. Mm-hmm.
and I'm glad y'all came up and we got to hang out. It's been a minute since I had just some good old laughing, good conversation.
It's been too long, Rescue.
Yes, ma'am.
It's been too long since we've all had a laugh and a hangout.
Yeah, we need to. I don't know. We need to go. Maybe as we come up into spring, maybe the gardening will bring stuff back out. We'll get back into sharing the projects and laughing and joking.
Mm-hmm. I mean, winter
Yeah.
is a different energy, so spring will be new.
Yeah,
Yep.
hopefully
And,
that freshness will bring it out.
in about a week and a half, it's time for me to start my lavender.
Ah,
Yep, got to
now
start
do
it
you?
indoors.
Okay, so you
Yep.
do the little what do you call them? Saplings, little sprouts.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to make a few to start a patch, 100, 150, something like that.
That spreads fairly easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can just chop it and throw it back in the dirt.
This giant 6-foot big red chicken talking to us. We didn't want to admit we all saw him. We didn't think he was real.
Well, I'd love to see it. Devil Dog and Rescue, whatever you get going. Like, there are things coming up. I know it's cold in a lot of places and spring is a ways, but certain things we can start getting them sprouted indoors. Get ready for it. Like, I'm already looking at throwing potatoes out because why not? Even though I'm in Washington, it's 40 degrees today. We haven't gotten below I would say 35. And even though I'm north, there's been no snow, there's been nothing. extreme. I've already got potatoes sprouting outside from my potatoes from last year that I didn't catch. Like there must have been little guys in there
Oh wow.
begging for life, you know. So
Hell yeah.
up, y'all. Just get ready if you get little starts going, whether it's some rosemary or you know, it takes forever to make sweet potato slips. Start getting those going in a jar and stuff like that, man. It'll come around quick. And the more we have to put in the ground right away, the next 2 months, the better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the root, those taters that have already sprouted on you,
Yes, sir.
take and mulch them in real good in case you get a freeze. At least the ground would be insulated. You know, mulch it in about 1.5 feet, 2 feet from around where the sprout is.
Right.
Because even if the green dies back, it will resprout again.
It still will, yeah. And that's what I'm finding doing these potatoes in kind of rotation in a similar spot. They do that. They start spontaneously finding their way. But that's a good idea. Like mulch them down.
Yeah, because taters like a lot of organic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can compost in place with your taters, and they'll do a lot better. And if you add wettable sulfur to drop the pH, it'll help your taters so much.
Interesting. Now, what would be a source? You said, did you say wettable?
Wettable sulfur, you can buy a couple pound tub on Amazon for like $3 to $5,
Okay.
and it'll last you years. Well, I do between 600 and 900 taters, you know, at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my tub is about half full. And I believe it's either year 3 or year 4 it's on.
Okay, so what's a natural source of this sulfur, out of curiosity?
The sulfur is a natural source of sulfur.
All right, but what might break down to make that? Because I mean, I have a lot of stuff going in my mulch pile, and I'm just curious, other than buying it, how can we generate it?
Well, you can generate it with like oak leaves, pine needles, you know, any high acid,
Okay.
you know, because your taters want a pH of between 4.5 and 5.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. I am surrounded by oaks and pines, and I was just curious.
Yeah, mulch all that stuff in with pine needles. It'll be so happy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And mix green and brown together equal.
Right.
So green pine needles and brown pine needles, put them all together.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
You know, like people are talking about doing that wood chip gardening. The problem is they're getting landscaping wood chips.
Right.
What you need is get them from an arborist because you have the leaves and the twigs all ground up together, and then that makes a healthy soil. If
Right.
you just run browns, you only have one sort of bacteria. If you have browns and greens together, then you cover your whole spectrum.
Mm. Okay. I'm inspired because my I've got some piles going, a few um, compost, mulch, different stuff because I've got a lot of trees. I've got apple, I've got maple, I've got oak, I've got pine, cherry, and I keep all this going together, rotate. Now, when things come down, sometimes windstorms, you know, there'll be perfectly green material falling on the ground. I like to break that up, roll it together. Um, so I
Do you
might,
have a chipper?
no, I don't.
You can get an inexpensive chipper that'll handle up to a 2-inch stick
Hey, Andy.
and the leaves for like $117.
Mm-hmm.
And it's electric, so you'd have to plug it in.
Right. No, I'm down with that for sure because I've got a pile of refuse from these different trees that I know they're valuable. There are places I could go dispose, and I'm like, nope, they're valuable to all my gardening. But to be fair, I don't know how to lasagna them to make the perfect kind of blend. But I've got a decent lasagna going from last year, over the last year, and I'm thinking about trying my potatoes in this space this year. And you're kind of confirming my thoughts on why that might succeed. So, and dude,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
hey Indy,
There's a great app. It's called Seed to Spoon,
uh-huh,
and that'll answer all the questions about what the pest problems are, um, what is good to grow that'll complement, another plant, and what not to grow with it.
right,
Like you never put a legume and any type of an onion together because you get low production on both.
interesting, mm-hmm, interesting, yeah,
Yep, like
and
around my taters, I always put what I call drills. Okay, that's your carrots, your turnips, stuff like that. All your root crops. I put around all my tomatoes,
right,
and that they help so much. And if you have an area that's like dead, nothing really wants to grow there, just cover that whole area with sunflower seeds,
mm-hmm,
and just rake them in. You don't have to get all fancy with it or nothing. And then when the sunflower ripens, you get the head when it dies off, and you let the entire stalk go all the way down to brown.
right, yeah,
And you never ever pull a root out. You always clip off at the base.
yes, Lady Smith, companion planting,
Well,
yep.
companion planting is different than intercropping.
Oh, so you're pulling the intercropping.
Well, I do
Now is that
high density gardening.
but it would all be about utilizing the natural rotation, what feeds the soil, feeds the plant, let certain things die off into it, roll it over, and you would have to rotate that over time.
Well, okay. If you're farming large scale, you need crop rotation. If you garden as a hobbyist, okay,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
then you don't need to. You can plant tomatoes every single year because you're adding compost, you're regenerating your soil.
Right.
Okay, the thing is, people don't understand that if you're growing something to enrich the nitrogen in your soil, you never, ever, ever add wood ash to that because you've taken a soil that will grow just about anything and made it so that it actually makes arsenic and your plants won't grow right.
Hey, what's up, Nick?
Now, what if you have too much nitrogen?
No such thing.
Okay. Okay.
And like people say, oh, just use a little bit of eggshell here and there. No, you can put as much eggshell as you want because it doesn't break down fast enough for one, and for two, it doesn't harm anything. Coffee grounds, you got to be a little more careful with. What I do is I take coffee grounds and eggshells and I put them on a cookie sheet and I bake them for about a half hour at 300.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they come out, I throw it in a blender and then I just scatter it in my garden. That way I don't have to wait for the eggshell to naturally break down. But never use fresh coffee grounds. Always use coffee grounds that have already been used at least once.
Oh yeah, hundo. And I do that. Eggshells, banana peels, potato peels, anything that I don't put into where I'm going to make stock. Like if I have um, broccoli ends, garlic skins, onion, all of that I put into the freezer. And when I make stock, I use that. But
Right.
certain things are not going to go in stock, like banana peels, potato peels, carrot peels, eggshells, already brewed coffee grounds, things like that go into the compost pile, and it makes a really rich soil. It takes a little while to process, a year more or less, but
Yeah, but okay, I'm sorry for cutting you off. But if you take that same stuff that you compost and compost directly in the garden, the following spring it's already working because you already have all the bacterias and stuff you need to break it down in your soil.
right.
It takes
Well,
longer to
that
compost stuff in a pile than it does in the garden.
I do a turn and burn, like it's outside in a designated area, turned out, and then it's set up where every other year can be changed and then spread about. But I think layering that with your cardboard, like brown, because the whole thing is you're trying to grow bacteria and worms, like the red worms, like the earthworms. So you've got some of your cardboard or even egg cartons, then you've got some of your leaf material, some of the green material from nature, some even I have put ash in there from the fire pit at times, not regularly, probably once or twice, chucked some of that in there and keep turning it and burning it. I mean, burning meaning it sits there and, does its thing.
Yeah, but like the shredded cardboard and a lot of the organic stuff that you're talking about is a great mulch.
It is.
And if you use it to mulch, it'll break down quicker because the worms will be coming from an active bacterial soil straight up into the stuff. And you'll watch a 2-inch pile of mulch in like 3 or 4 days become only an inch tall.
Oh, worm poo is good too.
The
I was
worm
going
poo
to
is
ask Nick.
everything.
Nick said he did something about banana peel water and garlic.
Mhm.
Well, so do you take like banana peels and just like put them in water and let them soak, and then add garlic, and then that's what you strain through and use it? He did it for as a natural pesticide.
Right. And, like all your citrus rinds and everything else, just take and dry them out and then crunch them up and use them as mulch around your tomatoes and potatoes and all your acid loving things, your blueberries, your currants,
Right.
strawberries, all that stuff would love having citrus peels around it.
Interesting. I haven't thought about using the peels because I throw those in the compost pile. Huh.
But okay, everything I do is I compost in place. So if I can use it as a mulch, I use it as a mulch. If it's something that I have to take a little bit longer to process, then I'll throw it in the oven. Well, I got a wood bake stove, and I use that more than I use that expensive one in the house.
Right. No, I love it. I don't go through that extra step of like dying, getting it broken down, grinding up, anything like that. I don't go through it. I just like put it out in the pile and turn it.
Yeah, well, the only reason I do that, I bake my eggshells is so that it becomes readily available that year.
Got you, Nick.
No, that makes sense. Speed it up.
Mhm.
Man, it's all about the worms. I see D talking about worms. Like
Yeah.
it really, it's all about the worms making the doo-doo that makes
it.
your best soil.
Just a plug for the creator, but it's kind of cool that how that natural design was put in place.
Right? We have what we need.
That's it. Hey guys, I need to kind of wrap it up. I'm down to 13% on this. So when it goes out, I won't be able to see nothing. It just goes black. That's happened once before.
Me love you long time. I'll go to chat.
All right. Hey, Roots, appreciate you. Big hugs. D Dog, I appreciate you, brother.
Yep. I appreciate you too. Yep. And my buddy Joey likes you.
Cool. Well, tell
Yeah.
Joey I said hi.
Well, he was listening to you rant, and he was laughing. He says, "Man, he likes ranting."
That's it. Got a vent so you don't punch something.
Yeah. Well, I'd punch it anyway.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. Well,
Yep.
hey,
Have a
guys.
good one, brother. Thanks for
Yes,
having me up.
you got it, man. Hey, anytime.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to go live tomorrow. We'll see how the
You mean
day goes.
today? You mean
Yeah, well,
today?
today. Hey, happy birthday, Teresa, if you're still listening. It's, I think, officially her birthday now.
Oh, good for her.
Well, hey, I appreciate y'all all being here. Hope you enjoyed the fire. It's been pretty cool. It's been a good day. It's a nice ending to an awesome day. Just remember, when you wake up, give thanks to God for the blessing of your wake up call and make it a good day. Appreciate you. Peace out, everybody. Nick, I got about 2.5 inches of snow.
I ain't here tomorrow. If the good Lord says it's my time to go, I don't see that morning sunset. There's some things I need for you to know. The truck is yours if you want it. It'll run forever if you treat it right. When you think of me on some back road, that's because I'm right there by your side. Chase your dreams until you catch on. Leave your doubts in a cloud of dust. You can't ever love too big. You can't call your mom too much. Do your best to get it right. Forgive yourself when you don't. Hope you don't forget how much I love you. I ain't here tomorrow. Don't let life turn you bitter. Don't be ashamed to bow your head. Take it easy on the liquor. Remember what your granddad. Yeah, you're gonna get your heart broke, but a couple of tears don't make you weep. Gonna find that girl God made just for you. Knows what he's doing, wait and see. Chase your dreams until you catch on. Leave your doubts in a cloud of dust. You can't ever love too big. You can't call your mom too much. Do your best to get it right. Forgive yourself when you don't. Hope you don't forget how much I love you. I ain't here tomorrow. Keep the shotgun in the family, raise your babies by the book, and keep my picture in your wallet. Keep your car keys on a hook. Do your best to get it right. Forgive yourself when you don't. Please don't ever forget how much I love you.